All right, so my name is Maddy, and basically, I wanted to come here to tell there's a lot of trauma and a lot of things that have happened in my childhood. My father went to prison when I was 6, and then my brother just went to prison too, I think back in March. And my dad didn't get out until I was 16, but I didn't meet him until I was 19. So part of all that is just because it's mainly like my life story. And I feel like the trauma, all the effects of what it has really just made me who I am today. And I think it's really important, to be honest. And it's just part of my story. So I wanted to tell it. So I think it's important to start so my mom and my dad, how they grew up. My dad, he was, his parents were in and out of divorce with 3 different kids, and it was horrible. They didn't have money. They would kidnap them from each other, and they'd be at school. And then if the dad dropped them off, then his mom came and picked them up from school. And then you got my mom on the other side who grew up, she was adopted when she was a baby. And she had an older sister, and it was more of a structured house. So it's crazy to me, the nature and nurture of that type of thing with that. But so when she was 15, she met a guy in high school, and she got pregnant with my older brother. And then a year later, she got pregnant again with my older sister. So this was before her and my dad ever met. They have a different dad from me. So their dad, she met in high school, and they get pregnant really quick, and they have to get married. It was super Christian household. They got to do what they got to do to get it right with the family. So they get married, and their dad he wasn't he just wasn't the best dad. For example, my mom would be at work, and she would come home, and he'd be sleeping while the toddlers were running around. And they're 5 years, my brother is 6 years older than me, and my sister's 5 years older than me. So they're a year apart from each other. So they're quite a bit older than me, and they were closer in age with each other. So that was how their dad was. So eventually the relationship just ended with them, with my mom and him. And it was hard for her because she never really set herself up. She got pregnant in high school. She immediately started working. I think she got her GED. I'm not really 100% sure, but she didn't graduate high school. And she was always just working waiting jobs, trying to just get by and take care of her 2 kids that she had at such a young age, while their dad really wasn't doing much. So eventually they divorced, and they did get married. I know that they got married and they divorced. And so she meets my dad at a Red Lobster that they were working at. And so he's, already has all this trauma that comes into the picture. And my mom she's just always kind of wild out. She's always been much of a partier. She likes the attention. She just always kind of thinks of today and not 5 years from now, right? So her and my dad meet, and it was it was just toxic from the beginning because they both were in drugs. They both worked at this restaurant. They didn't have much going for themselves, and she already has 2 kids. So they immediately link up after 6 months, a year. They're living together. I know a lot of stories come out because I wasn't even born. So this is just from what I hear from my siblings and from other people. They were selling drugs. They were doing drugs. They were just working at this restaurant to get by. Still kind of the same concept. They weren't thinking of 5 years from now. They were only thinking what to get by. And by this point, he comes into the picture, and my sister and my brother, I think, were 5 or 6. They were young. They were toddlers. So he's stepdad. And my mom really wanted that. At the end of the day, she really wanted that family dynamic. She wanted, mom and dad, raise the kids, the whole thing. And they actually struggled for a while to get pregnant with me. And eventually they did. So I was born 5 years after they got married. And so I'm from Arkansas. That's originally where I'm from. I was born in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and that's where they spent most of their life. So that's where we all grew up. And Arkansas, if you know anything about it, super country, Bible Belt, that's how the dynamic is there. It is what it is. So I was born in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And once I was born, they got an apartment because my grandmother, my mom's mom, would always help out where she can. Because my mom's family was a little more structured. So they would like try to give her money and try to do that. But my mom was not financially stable. She would, like I said, thinking about what's going to make her feel good. She was smoking weed all the time. She was doing whatever she could just to kind of have fun, but also take care of us as well. So they get pregnant with me, and I don't really remember much because my dad went to prison when I was 6. So like the only vivid memories I have of him at that age were like him sitting out front smoking a cigarette, all of us in the house together. And there were some weird times like I would see him and my sister go into the other room, or me and my brother are hanging out by ourselves way longer, but it's like kind of like screenshots because I was so young, so I don't really
remember.
Right. So there was one memory that I had that I've always like grew up. I didn't really understand it because I was so young. So he took us to a park, and my mom is always working. This is something that's really frustrating, and I feel for my mom because she was genuinely just like she didn't set herself up, so she was just working these random jobs, and she was never home. So he was in charge of taking care of all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So he took us to the park one day, and I saw my brother, they like went off into this trail, and my brother grabs me and he's like, "Hey, Maddy, like let's go over here." And I remember turning around and seeing my sister start to bend down and like she was about to give him oral. And that's the only like vivid memory I have that I've seen of him doing something like that to them. And at this point, I didn't find out until years later the gist of really everything that happened. But my sister was 7 or 8 when the abuse from him started happening. And it sucked for them because this is like their dad. Like I said, he wasn't a terrible man. He wasn't doing that to them, but kind of just, to be blunt, just deadbeat. He wasn't doing what needed to be done. He wasn't there for them as a man. He wasn't showing them what it's like to be a good dad. So when my dad came to the picture, I mean, he's tall, he's masculine, he's working with my mom at this restaurant, making it sound like it's going to be great, right? And then meanwhile, they're like all doing drugs and doing all this stuff. So yeah, so it really affected them. But me and my siblings growing up were never close at all. Like the 5-year difference, I never even knew what happened until I was probably like 11 or 12, and they never told me. I like found out on my own. So to back up, so the last memory I have of my dad, he was, because when everything was coming out, because he went to prison for this, he got sentenced for 42 years. I didn't really know what was going on. I was so young, like, I couldn't fathom that this was what was happening. And I remember he took me into the room and he sits me on the bed and he's like, "Hey, Madeline, I'm going to be going away for a really long time." And I don't even really remember feeling any type of emotion, just kind of like, what? And I remember him just being like, "I love you, be strong, I got to go away for a while." And then he left, and we were all in this small apartment in Arkansas. I just remember like chaos. Like I remember a lot of moving around with family houses. I remember packing up boxes, a lot of yelling and fighting, but like those vivid memories is really all I got when he was around. I didn't really understand what was going on. He was there one minute and he was gone the next. And then it seemed like in my head, probably a month after me and him had that conversation, my mom packed all our stuff up and we moved to Vegas super randomly. And she just, like I said, I guess she had some friends there and she got hooked up with a super nice house.
So let me ask you. So your dad goes to prison for 42 years, or sentenced to 42 years. And that was because he got caught with what he was doing with your sibling?
Right, yeah. And
was it just your sister and your brother?
I'll start to go into those details more. So it's kind of like my point of view at the time because I don't know any of what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I come to find out because I end up meeting him when I was 19. So I find out all of these details later on. So growing up,
you didn't have any idea.
They told me he was in Turkey at one point working and he was in prison. Yeah. So this was also like, you'll notice the relationships with my brother and my sister and my mom.
Okay.
And they were, so she was I think 8 or 9 when he went to prison. So my brother was 10 or 11.
Okay.
So my brother's the oldest of us. It's just us 3. And then my mom. So it was always like that throughout my childhood after he left. So
you moved to Vegas.
We moved to Vegas. And like I said, I don't know how my mom pulls all these strings to do all this at this age, but she does. And she gets us out of there. And I had a dog. My dad got us a family dog the month I was supposed to be born. So we grew up together. And that dog was like everything to me, important to me in the story. And so we moved to Vegas, bring the dog, bring my all that we had, our car, we U-Haul it. And we just we just start living life, and she's working, and my brother and my sister are in charge of taking care of me most of the time. That's what really sucks with my mom, because I have a lot of sympathy for her, because I think there for a while, if she could have done better, she would have, but she didn't set herself up at such a young age to where she had to just jump straight to working and straight to taking care of us and doing all the things. So she was always gone. So therefore, it was always me with my older brother and my older sister, and they're getting older. And I didn't even realize at the time, had been exposed to all this stuff. My brother was already kind of a little chaotic. He should have been treated with something, and we just didn't have the means to do that, to be honest. And his dad and their family weren't about to come in and try and help. So we moved to Vegas, and she starts working, and that's when like they both just started really acting out. And it was very much like I feel like the 3 of them really trauma bonded, and I was kind of left out of the picture. I would just go to school and come back home and really just be to myself for the longest time, because they were smoking too at a really young age. I think my brother started smoking at like 12 or 13, and then my mom was doing it with them, and then my sister's coming and doing it with them, and then I'm left out, in the living room and doing whatever I can. So I was super just like to myself a lot, and I just felt like they didn't really care or want to be around me. And when I would ask about my dad, it was very much just like, he's gone, or it was all these excuses. He's in prison, or he's out of the country, or he's like with family. It was the most random things that they would tell me. And I eventually just stopped, because I knew I wasn't going to get the answer I wanted from them, or the truth.
Yeah.
And especially with how they all just started like treating me as if at some point in Vegas, they would walk me to school and they would treat me like I had to like they had to keep me away from him. So I was really confused, because I didn't realize he was this bad guy like that you guys are portraying him to be. But you're also telling me like he's just gone. Like what? It's not adding up to me. Yeah. What is going on? But anytime I tried to question them, they were very defensive. They were all just super, like I said, I think they were so exposed and had to grow up at such a young age. And then with my mom, her being so young too, when she first had them, they just trauma bonded all together and almost just acted like that discipline and parental figure just was not there. And it's sad, because I think it has a lot to do with like where they ended up.
Okay, if you've ever tried losing weight, you know how frustrating and difficult it can be to stick to something that actually works, let alone to find something that actually works. There are so many different diets, advice from experts, literally everything under the sun that you can imagine when it comes to losing weight. And the frustrating part is some work, some don't. And like I said, sticking with it and keeping the results is the hardest part. And that is why I love what Hers is doing with Weight Loss by Hers. Hers is not this one size fit all type thing whatsoever. Everything is online, so you can connect with a licensed provider who actually figures out what your needs are. Everything is custom and designed exactly for you to figure out what the problem areas are, what's going on, and how to get you to your best self. And the most convenient aspect, personally, in my opinion, is that if you are prescribed something, it is getting delivered right to your door, so you don't have to leave, you don't have to go anywhere. It's the best of both worlds. They also offer access to FDA-approved GLP-1 medications such as Wegovy,
Maddy, which is designed to help regulate your appetite and support real sustainable weight loss when combined with diet and exercise. And hers is not just a medication, you are getting ongoing support like messaging, nutrition and fitness tips, and everything in between. So if there was a time that you needed something or you had a question, there's always somebody there to help and support you and answer anything that comes up. Ready to reach your goals? Visit forhers.com/insane to get personalized, affordable care that gets you. That's forhers.com/insane. forhers.com/insane. Based on advertised cash price for 30 days supply of medication only. Membership required, fee not included, and billed separately. Weight loss by Hers is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk AS. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy, clinical study information, and restrictions, visit forhers.com.
So there came a point where I was just full on just being neglected by all of them. My brother and my sister are getting older. They're like teenagers. They're going out. They're doing stuff. I'm probably so he went to I was 6 when he got sent to prison, 7 when we were in Vegas. So from 7 to like 9 or 8, we were in Vegas all doing our thing. And they're like going into their preteen years and going out and like getting exposed to stuff, just leaving me at home. I'm asking questions or just in my thoughts, because they also would talk to their dad. Mm-hmm. Like they would get phone calls from their dad and so I was like, what is happening here? Because I didn't have any answers. Yeah. And not that like, I was so young. It's not like they're going to sit there and be like, hey, like mm-hmm. this is what happened. And I think also they were processing in their own ways, like what that was and just talking to each other and just trying to protect me so much from him, I guess. I think you try and control something so much, it ends up hurting it at the end. So they're like doing their thing. And my brother, he starts doing drugs. He starts sneaking out. He starts just being really disrespectful. And he just feels like, you can tell he feels like the man of the house because he's the oldest one. And they had to go through all this stuff. It's just us 4. So he starts just getting this ego that was just so out of hand. And nobody would really put him in his place. My mom was always gone. So him and my sister were like best friends. So anytime for example, he would come home and we would have to have the whole house clean before my mom got off of work. And I was doing most of that stuff. And it was just weird because it was like he was so angry at me and I did not understand why. Mm-hmm. He just seemed so mad all the time. He was so distracted. He was barely going in and out of school. And it just sucks because nobody like helped this kid, to be honest. And he was hurting other people in turn. So it really just started like escalating with things. We were always in and out of houses too. Like my mom was always getting evicted. Then we'd have to go to an apartment. Then we'd be in a big house. Then we'd be in a random condo. And so we'd go from place to place. And there, like my brother and my sister would have to pack everything up, help her move, do the whole thing. I would, be involved too. But,
there's no stability
at all whatsoever. And whatever there was, it just was not respected because we've been going so long. Like whenever my mom would try to step up, it would be a huge fight. My brother would go crazy. It would like holes in the walls, all this stuff. And once he got to like, I think 14, 15, I feel like was just where it just got terrible. And we're all in Vegas. Like they're teenagers in Vegas right now, like random as hell. Yeah. And who knows what's going on there. That's not necessarily the place. Like, and we were smack dab in Vegas. It's not like we're in the outskirts in Nevada. Yeah. So not good influences he was surrounded by either. So he was only worried about, to be honest, getting messed up and having fun with his friends. He did not give a crap about what happened when he got home. And plus him and my mom are like smoking together. So I feel like it builds that ego in his head that he's not really this kid anymore and he is the man of the house and he's doing his thing and he can control this because he's also not getting disciplined for it. He's not getting any repercussions. And my sister, she would just kind of like tag along with him. She wasn't as like chaotic as him, but they were like so close and they were just at a different age from where I was. So I was like still in elementary school, just trying to figure my little self out while they were doing whatever. And so a lot of abuse started happening with my brother towards me probably like 3 years into Vegas. And like there was this one instance, we only had one bedroom for the kids and then one bedroom for my mom. It was a 2-bedroom house. And my sister had the bedroom and my brother would sleep on the couch and my mom would have her room. And he wouldn't let me, like, I had to sleep on the floor for like a year because he wouldn't let me like sleep on the couch or have a turn, or if I wanted to play the video game, it was only on I had to play his game or I had to play with him. If mom was gone and he made dinner, like I could only eat this certain amount. I can't have any leftovers. I can't have any snacks in the house. I can't do this while him and Destiny are getting high. My sister Destiny are getting high and eating everything and what they want. And I'm getting reprimanded for whatever I do. So it was like a lot of that, just him dictating what I could and couldn't do. And we already didn't have a lot. We had barely anything. We were walking to and from school for the longest time. My mom was walking to and from work for the longest time. So what we did have, like, he took most of it. Our entertainment, the TV, the PlayStation, whatever couch or bed was available at the time. And my sister, I think they like felt so bad for her because she got the worst of the abuse. And my sister was kind of more of the mellow one, but what was hard for our relationship is she saw him do this a lot to me. She would not say anything. There was only one time she like stood up to him, and I don't know what I was doing, but I accidentally called the police, and I was like super young, and I was just going on the phone and I like typed in 911. And we were in this apartment. You type in 911, the cops come, even if you hang up really quick.
Right.
So I'm like panicking and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe I just did that. And they knock and he opens the door and he's like, nothing, like what's going on? And Donovan's like, nothing, it is what it is, whatever. And they say, well, everything's fine. Like, because I came up and he was like, well, who called the police? And I finally came out and I was like, well, I did. And as soon as the police go, we get it settled, they leave, he shuts the door, he like gets in my face and he's like, why the fuck would you do that? That's crazy. Like, you're so stupid. Just yelling at me, saying, like going off on me because I accidentally called the police, and he pushed me really hard. And my sister like stepped in and was like, Donovan, you need to chill out. That was the most she ever did. And he did a lot more than that with me. And they would always have like friends and stuff over, and it sucked because they would use all of our stuff and eat all of our food. And I was the only one that was like, I couldn't hang out. I couldn't play the game. I had to go away because they were all smoking. They were all hanging out. So it was really hard for me, like growing up in that type of environment. And I will say, my mom feels bad. Like, we talk about it now. And like, for the longest time, she didn't see it like that. There's different perspectives for everybody. And she was just gone. She tried when she was around. She would. But at this point in time, she was literally just always working. So this was my life with them because they had to take care of me. And I think because they honed in on how dangerous my dad was, which I completely understand. But he was also locked up. And they just felt like he was always going to come and like kidnap me or have a family member come get me. So I think they had a lot of pressure on themselves with taking care of me. And I think it made them resent me a lot more than like actually just see me as their little sister.
Yeah.
And they just saw who my father was to them. So it was hard. And they always like, my brother would fight with all of us. He would do a lot of scary things. Like when they would fight and yell, he'd like put knives to his wrist. He would like talk about wanting to kill himself all the time. He was doing all these drugs. But like nobody was like putting a stop to it and we couldn't really do it because my mom didn't have the means to do so. So for the longest, I just like shut down and just dealt with it. I really did. I was just like, this is how it's going to be. My sister I would try and talk to her. We'd have good moments, but there was always like, kind of just shut me down. Like, no, that's not the case. Like, no. And I would ask, like, is it because of my dad? Like, what is going on? And they were just like, no, it's not the case. And I was also so young.
Yeah.
So it's not like I was really putting two and two together. Like, all I knew was that he hated my guts. He was an angry teenager, and this was supposed to be my older brother. And this was what I was young. I was probably like 7 or 8 when he started treating me like this, and it just progressed. So we're in Vegas for a while. We move into this really big house after, this was like the last house that we had when we were in Vegas, because we moved around a lot. And some of the things he started doing, it's so weird talking about it. I don't talk about it very much, but
it's a lot. It's heavy.
It is. So it just would start with little things like the food and stuff, and like him just dictating how the house goes, or whenever my mom's gone, and the games, right? So I don't know if you ever played Red Dead Redemption. It's like it's like a GTA but with horses, whatever.
Okay.
It's silly, but I would like, when I got the opportunity, I would like play this game, and I would customize my horse, and I would like for hours, and I'd be so excited, and it was just the best thing ever to me. And they would have, like, I got done one day, and I leave, and I come back home, and they have all their friends over there, my older brother and my older sister, and all their friends are hanging out playing this game. And my brother tells me, he's like, hey, Maddy, come here. And I come over there, and he just starts like shooting my horse. And then like he'd call another one and just start shooting the horse. And that was like the start of like it escalating in front of everybody. And he just got crazy with just wanting to like see me cry. Like, I was sitting there just bawling my eyes out. He would get a box, like a moving box, and shove me into the box and close the box and like keep me shut in there. And I'm like, dude, that's so claustrophobic. I'd be freaking out, crying. I'm yelling like, please stop. And nothing. Like, he would just hold me in there and not let me come out at all in front of all of his friends. Like, he's doing all these things to just humiliate me. And I just did not understand what I was doing. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know, I was their little sister, so I was a little odd. I had my little quirks, but nothing to the extent of what I was getting from him. So then, and I knew they smoked weed, but like smoking was just around. So I knew that's what that was. But, you know, I was so young. I don't know the difference between like alcohol and this and that. So getting older, I find out like he was on a lot of other stuff. So around that same time when he's doing all that stuff, he starts doing a lot of the sexual abuse to me too. And he would come to find out my brother has a foot fetish. So we'd be laying on the couch, I'd have a blanket, and he would do this in front of my sister or in front of company, but it would be under the blanket, and it's like we're watching a movie, and he would just like grab my feet and do whatever he wanted to do with them to make him finish. And I would like feel it all. And he did that multiple times to me in front of people with a blanket over us. And I kept my mouth shut. And
so, question.
Yeah.
Would he just like finish in his pants?
No,
or he like would take it out.
He would take my feet and like masturbate with it. And then like I could feel it. I was like 9 or 10. Yeah. And it was in that house, the last house in Vegas, I started doing that in. Or he started doing that in.
When that started happening, because obviously when he was like torturing you physically.
Right. And like emotionally too. Because he's dictating almost everything that I can and can't do from the moment I walk in from school to when my mom gets home late at night.
Did you have like a new fear come up when that started happening, the sexual abuse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'd get nervous every time my feet were around, or like, because I could tell that was like his thing. And like that, there's a lot more instance that like happens that as we're older, we do get to realize like he does have a real foot fetish. It's insane. So in that time, I wasn't exposed to any of this. They were, right? But the only thing I ever saw was that memory I had with my dad. Right. And I still was trying to figure that out. Because I didn't really, to be honest, I was like, I don't know what that is, whatever. So yeah, when he did that, I was like nervous, very, very anxious and not understanding.
And would he ever say anything to you like after the fact, or it would just happen?
It would just
not
happen,
be spoken about?
And then like he would stop and he'd get up and go to the bathroom, or we'd just like sit there for a minute and watch what we were watching, or like, yeah, it was, and that happened multiple times. Like, and I don't know, they shut me out so much and they just stood up for him so much. So it was really hard for me to come to them and be like,
yeah,
hey, so-and-so is, especially with how much I saw he was getting away with already. So it was really like uncomfortable for me. And then I got exposed at a young age, and I'm like starting to process this, because I'm like, so is this what guys want? Like, is this,
right,
you know, like, and this is my older brother. This is the only man in my life. This is like, my dad's gone. You guys treat me like this. You guys have your dad though. So it was really, really confusing in my early stages.
I personally am not a nicotine user, but this is one of those products that I've heard a lot of people talking about, whether it's personally people I know or people online. The main thing that I am hearing about from people that try Lucy is how the flavor actually lasts, and that's the biggest difference for them. It's not something that just fades out right away. It's actually consistent. And the breakers is something that I keep hearing about the most. You just pop it in, crack it open, and the flavor bursts into your mouth right away. It hits right away. And that's pretty much what is setting it apart. And from what I've heard, people are loving how simple it is. There's no smoke, no hassle, and you can pretty much use it anytime throughout the day, whether you are trying to get work done or just focus. So if this is something that interests you or something that you want to try out, this is what I've been hearing about it. This is the hype. It's simple and straight to the point, and it clearly gets the job done. Lucy is the only pouch that delivers long-lasting, on-demand flavor. Get 20% off your first order when you buy online at lucy.co/insane with promo code INSANE. And if you don't want to wait, check out their store locator to find Lucy near you and grab it today. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every customer is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
So we eventually leave Vegas, and the whole time we were there, from, like I said, I was like 6 to 9. He was doing stuff to me from 8 to so on, but he started sexually abusing me when I was 9 to 10. So yeah, he was doing that. And my sister and my mom never knew. And I can tell they never knew, because I kept it from them very much. And so did he. He was like, it was just this unspoken thing that happened between us. But they knew about everything else he was doing. I would tell my mom, like, when she'd get home, and she would try and say something to him, but then it would blow up into a huge fight. And so it just got to the point where it's like, we'd rather just let him do whatever than have to deal with the consequences of him freaking the fuck out. Yeah, so we're in Vegas, and all this is happening, and they're also, I don't even know what they were doing, but from the stories that I ended up hearing, they were having their own teenage crazy ass life that I had no idea about. So on top of that, he's like already not mentally stable. He's doing a bunch of drugs. He's able to do whatever he wants. So like, I try to empathize with him a little bit with it, because it is, I mean, he didn't have the father figure or the means necessary to get the help that he really did need. And same with my sister. But I think there comes a point too where, you know, he even did that to me, and it happened with my sister, and it sucks and it's hard, and you have to like process it, but you either go left or you go right, and you choose what needs to happen.
Yeah.
And me and my sister, like, we didn't let this affect our lives. We grew from it, and we kept it moving. He like honed in on it. It was everything. And he felt like he was, in a sense, he felt like he saved the family from my dad, which like, I didn't even understand that, because nobody told me that.
Yeah.
So, and I'll, get into that more when I tell you when.
And also, it's not saving if you're doing the same thing.
Right. Right. So I don't know. That was happening. My mom, the Vegas situation wasn't working. So she's like, we need to go back to Arkansas. So she packs all of us up, and she ends up leaving my brother there in Vegas, because he had made a life. He had friends.
How old was he at that
He was
point?
like 16, 17. My sister, he was 16, 15, because my sister was like 14, 15 when we moved back to Arkansas. So it was just us three, my mom, my sister, and me. And I was so excited.
I'm sure.
So excited. They were like, my sister was a hot mess. Her and my brother were like this. And I mean, I get it. Their age difference is so, they're so close to each other. I was so far from them.
Yeah.
And my age was so different. So, and I was just different from them. They had the same dad.
Yeah.
I didn't. We had the
Just a
same
different
mom.
dynamic.
Very much so. My mom didn't really have guys. She had one like boyfriend in Vegas that I would see, but it was more flings. Like I never got close with any guys. And same with my sister. Like there wasn't ever like any relationships that I really saw together like that growing up. So I think, I don't know, I feel like that kind of affected things too, because I could tell they would talk about it and that's all they really wanted. Like my mom wanted to find a guy and be our stepdad and like get married, and same with my sister, but she was also kind of trying to do her own thing, but she wanted, so I would hear this and then I would get kind of like stories from them like hooking up with people or just from eavesdropping, right? And I forgot to mention, so right before we move, I still don't know anything about my dad, right? I have no idea. My brother, he's like doing this shit to me. And when I find out what happens, I was like, I would do the most weirdest shit as a kid just because I was so bored. I would just like walk around my house. I would like play little games with myself. I would like kind of just eavesdrop on everyone, to be honest, because they were always like just chill in the backyard and I can't be there and doing this and whatever. So tensions were high in the house. And this was like the last couple months we were in Vegas and tensions were high. I couldn't understand why. And it's like late at night one night and they're outside smoking and I like I'm doing my weird shit, just walking around, probably riding my scooter. And I come around like in the side of the house where they can't see me and I just hear them talking and I hear them talk about my dad's parole coming up. And I'm like, oh, I'm like 11, 10, I don't know what the fuck a parole is. Like, what are you? And then I hear, he's probably like, he's going to try and get out of prison. And that's how I found out. And I don't know I can't remember what was said, but something about like what he did to Destiny, to my sister was said. So I was like, okay, so it kind of was like coming to me in that moment.
Right. Did he go away because of something he did to her specifically?
Right. So I was like, oh, and like, especially how Destiny got treated too. Yeah. Like I remember as a little girl, her like not having to do certain chores, not having to do, and my father is a scary man. Like you want to listen to him. He's tall. He's like big built. Yeah. So they were very much intimidated by him. So it was surprising that my sister like got away with a lot of things. Right. So, and even with my mom, and my brother, everybody kind of just felt for my sister. And I did not understand why. Like, I was kind of just like, what's so special about her and not like me? Why isn't this so even, right? And we weren't close, so she wasn't telling me anything that was going down. I had no idea. We were never... I was like a child to them, like their child they had to take care of. So they really honed in on not just trying to keep my ears protected from all this stuff. And I think it did more harm than good, to be honest, because I feel if they would have just sat with me and been like, hey, your dad did some terrible things. He's not a good man. But it was just so aggressive and just like not telling me anything, to be honest. So that's how I find out. And then we go to Arkansas and we leave my brother behind. And at this point, I'm like 11 or 12. And I start smoking weed because I'm like, well, I see.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. Everybody's doing it.
I go in my mom's her room in the apartment, and there's like a watermelon bong. I'm like, what's this? Like, let me see what's up. And I see them get happy with it, and I want to do it. And so when me and my sister and my mom leave, I kind of start talking to my sister a little more. And she was very much more the approachable one than honestly both my mom and my brother. My mom's a little more just like, she shuts down and a little more erratic about things. So I never really wanted to talk to her because I didn't want it to be a blown up type of conversation. My sister was kind of more, calm and collected, but also like, I'm your big sister, you're going to fucking listen to me, right? So I started talking to her more, and I told her like, hey, I want to smoke, and like, what's up? So we would start smoking together, and that's kind of how me and my sister kind of bonded. We still weren't super close, but I felt like I finally had someone in my family. So it was hard feeling like she didn't say a lot of things to stick up for me before that, but I was just like, this is cool what I'm getting right now from her, right? So she like smoked weed with me for the first time ever, and we had like the super awesome bonding experience, and we were with like a few other people, and she was being really protective of me, and like I never really had that from them. Like, this is awesome. Like, my sister's being kind of cool. Like, what? And when we first got to Arkansas, we were like staying with some of my mom's friends. We didn't have a place for a minute. So she was even more, me and her, I think, were even closer. She's probably starting high school, 14, 15. So I was, like I said, 11, 10. Gosh, such a young age to start smoking weed too. And I don't think I even realized how much that even
affects you.
It does. You know, you try to act all cool and whatever about it, but it got to me. And I'm just exposed to so much already. I mean, I don't take that away from them, like, holy moly, but I also, like, without being able to feel like I can talk to anyone about it. And one thing I've learned about myself is I'm very much like I'd rather talk about everything and lay it all out on the table and us be able to hold each other accountable and move on than just like shove it under the rug. I'm not that type of person. And I was like that even as a little girl. I was very matter of fact, like, hey, why are we not having, like, why am I not eating? Why am I not? So I would just say stuff like this and then they'd get upset. So I was very much like that. But my sister, she was really good at shutting me down in a more positive way. She just didn't really want to talk about it. She was like young, 14, 15, doing her thing. So then we finally get a house. My mom gets a house some way, working, whatever. And my sister meets this guy and she gets pregnant at 15.
Wow.
And it sucks because it's like, what happened to my mom, you know? So, and we both saw how much it's affected my mom and how it, you know, where her life went with it. So my sister gets pregnant, and as you know, I was super excited to have a niece, but also like that went away. My sister like went away from me, and she started having to like grow up even more and go to her like boyfriend's house and like starting to live with them, starting to get ready to have a child. And then I think right before, a few months before my first niece was born, Donovan, my brother, comes back home to Arkansas with us.
So how long was he gone for in total?
I'd say like 6 to 9 months. It wasn't like, in my head, I could be wrong with the time frame, but in my head, it seemed like we moved to Arkansas, we had this good time together, and then my sister gets pregnant.
Okay.
So it was like, sometimes she got pregnant, he came back.
Okay.
And I could be wrong. It could have been a little longer, but in my kid brain, that's how fast everything seemed to be moving at that time. So he comes back, and I was so mad about it. I was like, great, like,
here we go again.
And it's his, you know, luckily I had my own room. It was the first time I had my own room with like a bed, and I was so excited. So I had my own things. And he came in and started living with us. He's like 17, I think, at this point, 16. And he wouldn't go to school still. He would fight with my mom about going to school. He was just doing super delinquent stuff. It does not matter what anybody tried telling him what he needed to do. He was going to do whatever made him feel good that day and fuck anybody else who got in his way. So, and my mom, she's working. My mom was working all the time.
So there was no one to really discipline.
At all.
Yeah.
And she tried, but like I said, when she would try, they barely, I think also with what happened with my father, just lacked that respect out of all the adults in their lives. And even my sister, there were times when my sister, she got pregnant at 15. My mom was going off on her about that. Well, you did.
Right.
So it was hard. There wasn't that respect there, which she is our mom. There should have been, but they just did not have it. But I had to have it. That was the hardest thing, is no matter what, I had to respect them, and I had to do whatever they all said. And it's like, you guys are all treating me like wild. Destiny would be in and out with me. Sometimes I'd be able to open up to her about things, but then sometimes it'd be combative. It was super back and forth with me and her. But then once she had the baby, it was me and her just distance ourselves from each other even more. And so Donovan was at the house a lot more, and it was just me and him, and then stuff would start happening. And it was always the same thing when he sexually abused me. It wasn't like he would do anything else. And I'm not trying to that sounds crazy, but it was always the foot thing and just being on the couch or being in this area where he could get my feet. And like I said, people would be like right there. And I would just freeze. It was like an instinct for me. I think it was just how I coped with it. That's crazy. And I never said anything to them being that young. I think I was 2 in a really fucked up way. Like maybe this is his way of like loving me.
Yeah, like showing you affection.
Because we all were never like, me and my sister have probably hugged like 5 times in our lives. Yeah. We are not super like that in general. Right. So I was like, okay. So when he came and my sister was gone, I think we tried bonding more, me and him. I think I just came to a point of like trying to accept that he is who he is and I need to just kind of obey because my mom's not going to be around and she's not going to stick up for me. Yeah, it was like that for a while. He would just be abusive. I mean, there were times he would randomly, like, there was this one night, we were in a weird situation after that house. After that house we moved into in Arkansas, it went back to going to apartments, going to people we're staying with. It wasn't like I'd probably be stable with my mom in a house for maybe a year, if that. So then it'd be like 6 months somewhere else, 3 months somewhere else, 2 months with like a friend or something like that. And so there was this time, like my sister's gone and at this point she's doing her thing with her kid and her baby daddy at the time and all this stuff. So she's kind of out of the picture at this point, which sucked for me. So it's me, my mom, my brother now, and we're going from place to place. And also like, which blows my mind now, they never made him get a job. They never made him like, or my mom never made him like put any effort into like being there, being at his age of the responsibility of having a house, of like getting a car, paying for food. He just always just had whatever he needed. And I think it was my mom's way, looking back now, of just feeling bad for what happened with my dad and him. I think they just all felt like they were doomed after that happened, which sucks for me because, you know, there was somebody looking up to you guys. It just sucked. So we were moving from place to place, and he's like 16 or 17. And I was probably 5th grade, 6th grade, and I was sleeping on the floor. He'd get the couch. It was always like that. He'd always get the comfiest spot. I was just kind of put in the recliner or wherever they would put me at the time. And I remember I had like an award ceremony at school. You know how they do that for you in elementary or middle school. And I was really nervous about it. And I just wanted the rest and I wanted to feel good for in the morning because I felt like I was going to go up in front of people to get the award. And I didn't have a blanket. So I took the blanket. And and this is like where he really, really physically abused me. I take the blanket and he like comes in and he's like, no, I'm taking that. Like, I'm going to sleep with it. And I was like, dude, like I like combated him. I was like, dude, I have something in the morning. Like, I'm just trying to go to sleep. Let me have the blanket. We get into this huge fight and he just starts shoving me to the ground and he puts a pillow on top of my face and just starts beating my face like I'm a grown man. Just going in on me. Oh my gosh. At the time I didn't realize it, but I guess my mom had a really bad alcohol problem. Okay. And I did not know that. They came out to me a lot more as we're all, you know, trying to heal and talk about things. So they told me that. So I didn't realize that she was also kind of like abusing stuff too. So I remember that morning I had a busted lip, like my nose hurt, my jaw hurt. It was terrible. And I tried telling her, like I tried being like, Mom, like I was not wanting to go to school. She pulled up to the parking lot and I'm trying to tell her I'm crying. I have all this anxiety. And I was just telling her, please don't make me go. Like I cannot. And she was just kind of like laughing at me, like not taking me serious. And I was like,
did she ask you what happened to your face?
Yeah, but like, she asked what happened and I told her and it was so downplayed all the time. Like, well, you know not to piss him off or, well, you know, like not to do this. Like, you know how he gets. It was super. And I was just like, and I had so much anxiety, like as a child with like not having food, with
Mm-hmm.
bills not being paid or getting evicted all the time. So like I was just in this moment like, dude, and I think when I went to school, that was like my escape with things. So I really cared how I looked to people or how I acted, because it was kind of where I would like make my friends and make connections with people, because I wasn't really getting that at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like telling her like, please don't make me go. Me and her get into this huge fight because she's just like, it's fine. Like you're being dramatic about it, blah, blah, blah. And she's just not taking me seriously. Like I remember at one point in that conversation, she like just smiled and like laughed at me about it. And it really like, it just hurt my heart. Like, cause that's my mom. Out of everybody, I really thought you would maybe, I don't know, you would do something about it. So after that, like I was so mad, and me and Donovan just kept fighting and just fighting. We'd yell at each other. And it just escalate. Like he would push me but there was nothing that'd be done. Like I would just have to deal with him being this way towards me, and I couldn't handle it anymore. So my mom, it was the summer of 7th grade, was like, I'm going to send you to Russellville, Arkansas, which is like kind of down south,
Mm-hmm.
to stay with your aunt and your uncle. And I still had the bruises on my face from him. And I'll never forget, it was shortly after that fight, because like that week after that fight, me and him were just fighting all the time. And she even was like, to the point, I can't deal with this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
She sends me to my aunt and my uncle's for the summer. And I remember I pulled up and my aunt literally started crying because she saw my face and was like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
So
So
my
that's your
aunt-
mom's sister?
Mhm. Yeah. So it was just them two, my mom and her older sister,
Okay.
and my mom was adopted, but my aunt wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So she was the older sister to her. She was 7 years
Got it.
older than my mom. And I remember we'd go to my aunt and my uncle's for holidays, stuff like that, way more structured. They have the nice house, they have land. It was always like, I look forward to going over there. And I was really close with my uncle, my aunt's husband. And I don't know, me and him just connected. And I think it was like there's a respectful, older man that I like can look up to. He doesn't make me feel like he's going to come at me in a weird way or look at me in a weird way. And I was also like, I was a tall child, so I looked a lot older than what I was at the time. So I like, after what Donovan was doing to me, I also started getting like, seeing how older men would look at me and my sister too. So it was nice because my uncle really like never made me feel that way. It was just pure love from them. But they were also very structured and they were very strict, and they go to church every Sunday and every Wednesday night, and we got to do it like this. And, so I went there for that summer, and it was the best summer ever. I mean, it was so chill, no fighting. I didn't have to worry about food. Like, I gained a little weight. My aunt, I remember she made comments like, you were skinny when you first got here. Like, I saw your hip bones, and now like you're filling up. It's better. So that was awesome. But then I had to go back with my mom, and it was just the same old story. It's just the same thing every time. And my brother, I think, just ruined a lot of things for my mom. She would get in these relationships, and he would just always be at the house. He's not doing anything. He's not working. He's not going to school. They're blowing up in fights. She's kind of starting to realize like he is not doing well. So eventually she like gets this girlfriend, my mom, random as hell. She like starts dating this girl. I don't know where that came from. That's awesome, but like random as hell. Couldn't stand her, this girl that she was with. She was terrible. She was just not a good human being. I could not. And so when I went to stay with my aunt and my uncle, I was probably 12 at that point. So when I came back, she was with this girl, and we were all living together, me, my brother, and them two. And they would all get close and smoke, and she got close with my brother. Her name was Christy. And Donovan's my brother. So Christy and Donovan and my mom would just all kind of like chill while I did my thing. It was like literally Vegas all over again, but I'm a little older. So I'm getting a little more pissed off because I'm starting to like grow and have a voice and just be like, man, like this sucks. Like this truly sucks. And I never had a phone. I never had any type of like electronics in my room or anything like that because it all went to the older siblings. And whatever she did, she would like help them out first and then just kind of take care of me because I was just like the one they all had to take care of, it felt like. So this girlfriend of hers, Christy, like after that, I always say my mom, she just wasn't there. Like she was going through her own stuff. And like besides that moment with Donovan, like I don't think she was a terrible mom to me. When she was around, she tried, but she was just gone. So it was a lot easier for them to do stuff. But when she got with this freaking chick, she really became a bad mom, to be honest. Just she let that girl dictate everything, just like kind of my brother. And then they like are super close, which is weird. So it was like very strange dynamic. And I'm hitting preteens now. And my sister's like raising her first kid, and then she gets pregnant again. So now she's about to have 2 kids. Like, so it's literally like she's doing the same thing my mom did. I don't have anybody. I'm just this random little kid in my family. And there was this one adult. Her name's Holly. She was a family friend, and she was the only family friend that really like asked about me. And she came around this time, and she was she had always been back and forth with us, but she really started, when we moved back to Arkansas, really started coming to the picture a lot more. And she was the first adult to really like, besides my aunt and my uncle, when I could see them, because they were like 2 hours away, she would really like ask me and talk to me about things and how I'm doing, how I'm feeling, this, that, and the third. So I got really close with her. And she was like my mom's best friend, but she also didn't agree with how my mom was doing a lot of things. Because again, they're smoking. I'm also smoking behind everybody's back because I'm not allowed to. So I would be like hiding in my room, isolating myself even more. And it was frustrating because you did this with them when they were this age, but like, God forbid I do anything. I'm like, whatever. So Holly was just super like, this just isn't right, this dynamic, but I'm going to just support and be here the best way I can. So when she's with Christy, we move, they decide, hey, we should move to California because Christy knows some people. I'm in 8th grade. I'm about to go to 9th grade. So in Fayetteville, Arkansas, it's like 9th grade through 12th grade, one building. It's the high school. So I was like super excited because, I've been at the middle school and we're about to go into the high school and start everything and yada, yada. And then they're like, hey, we're going to move to California. Dude, we just got here. Like, I feel like it was probably like 3 or 4 years, but like to me, it's like, dude, come on. I'm
like
trying
again,
to
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So we end up going to California and we drive there. And 2, we have that dog that I brought up in the beginning. That dog was like the only thing that was always consistently there for me. Like, her name was Sasha, and she was like, out of all of them, was always the one. It's crazy. That dog was like a mother figure to me because she was always there. So everywhere we went, she would be with us. And she was a pit bull, so she protected us a lot with a lot of things. So that was also kind of one of my outlets. So we take everything that we just, like the little stuff that we did have when we moved to California. And at this point, I think my brother, to be honest, I'm not dealing with him as much before we go. I'm just kind of like avoiding all of it. Yeah. The sexual stuff kind of stopped once I came back from that summer from Russellville. So I was like, I know what I need to do. I need to just stay away from you guys and go into my room, focus on school, smoke weed whenever I can to calm down, and I'm going to do my own thing. We up and move. And when we get to California, we're literally like homeless, living in the car. We didn't have any plan, didn't have any house. It's just my mom, her girlfriend, Christy, and me, and then our dog, Sasha. And I'm just like,
I'm surprised your mom wanted to move away from your sister.
I think she got to a point to where, because my sister would still come over with all the kids and like they'd all hang out and stuff. I just wasn't like involved very much. Like I would be away in the room and stuff. So they were still all close, but I think she got to a point where she was kind of just tired of them too. Because they to an extent, they like sucked the life out of my mom, because they had so much going on, and my mom was just trying to be there for them. And they were like older, and they were talking about like what happened with my dad, and I would get pieces of it and whatnot. So, and by this point, I'm starting to understand like my dad did something sexual to my sister, and that's like he's in prison. And that's kind of like what I know. And that's all just for me eavesdropping.
Yeah.
And that's all I know so far at this moment. And then, so we're homeless in California. And my mom would drop me off at school. If I was like 8th grade, drop me off at school. No, I was going into 9th grade.
Okay.
And I would literally just walk around the building and just like stay outside because I was so embarrassed to go to school because I was in the same clothes. I felt disgusting. I hadn't showered. I had just slept in the car. I was like, because like I said, when I went to school and I was away from them, like I cared how I was presented and I cared what I wore and things like that. So I like wouldn't, and we would fight about it because I'm hitting like 13, 14 age. And I'm like, dude, I'm having all this anxiety. I can't talk to anybody about anything because you guys kind of just care about your own stuff. It's whatever. And I did not want to go and deal with this. So we moved there to California in August, and it was right when the school year was starting. So I would do that for like weeks. I'd probably go to that school like maybe the whole time I was there, maybe a month I went to that school. All the other days I would just be walking around. I did not want to go. I was not here for it. So my aunt and my uncle get word of what's going on in California. And me and my mom are just fighting back and forth. All she cares about is Christy and like smoking with Christy and what Christy wants. And she's weirdly was just a lot like my brother. Like we had to do whatever she wanted and had to so that was just a pain in itself because I'm seeing my mom just not care about anything but like her. Because I think she just was so lonely at this point. The first relationship that felt real to her, she just like hopped into it. And she was so manipulated by her too. So it sucked because I think Christy made her think that they were going to have, that bigger picture that they always wanted. And it just wasn't the case. So I remember my aunt and my uncle get word, and it's probably October now, just a few months of us being in California. And my mom, we're in a hotel room, and my mom wakes me up and I'm also, I'm smoking, I'm still doing stuff, right? Like I'm super young doing my own thing, but having to deal with all this stuff. We're in a hotel room. We get a hotel for the night, and I'll never forget. She wakes me up at 4 a.m. I had no idea. And she just goes, "You're getting on a flight in an hour to go live with your aunt and your uncle." And I just freak out because this is all I've known. Like, what do you mean I'm going to live with my aunt and my uncle? Like, this is my life. Like, you're my mom. Like, what about Sasha? What about, it was a lot. Like, no, like you guys are supposed to be my family. Like, you're just, and she's like, "We can't do this. Like, we're homeless. You're not happy. Like, we need to get you." Looking back, she was really trying to do the best that she thought, was good for me in that moment. But I'm so young. This is all I've known. I'm about to go, and which was an amazing time that summer. But
it's also just so much back and forth.
Right. And
you had no time to just settle and adjust.
Yeah. From the time, even when she was with my dad, they moved us around all types of states. I mean, because it's just so much to get into. There's no point. Same shit was happening wherever we were. Yeah. So yeah, I was been to a handful of states by the time I was 8 or 9. So yeah, so 13, 14. Plus I'm not around them. As messed up as they were my family at that point. So I was okay, so you're really just going to kind of give me up. That's really how I felt about it at that time. And like I said, me and my sister had stopped talking, and I was grateful to get away from my brother. I will say, it sucks because I think they see a different side of my brother. I think they have a lot more sympathy for him, but he started neglecting and abusing me at such a young age for me. I don't really have fond memories with my brother, right? So she wakes me up, "You're going to live in Russellville with your aunt and your uncle." And I get there, and they tried. I was just so exposed already. They had 2 older kids, and they were already out in college. So it was just me and this super big house with a queen size bed, a huge closet, multiple rooms, all this land. When I walked in there, it was just overstimulated, overload.
Such a different life.
Right. I didn't know if I was going to be able to eat or not being there with them, if the electricity was going to be turned off or not. So I was tripping balls. Like, this is a lot. So they tried, like, that night, when they picked me up from the airport, they could tell I was super uneasy. And they, like, got me, I was obsessed with Big Macs from McDonald's. So they would, like, get me that and just tried to really comfort me. I remember that first week, she took me shopping for new clothes because I only had whatever was in my little suitcase.
Right.
And I flew for the first time by myself, too. So I was just like, this is fucking crazy. Like, all this happening at once. So yeah, and then I come in and I'm about to hit 9th grade and I was a mess already. I didn't have therapy. I was expelled, and they go to church every Sunday. My uncle was a Marine, set up a life for them. Their kids were perfect, like super good kids. And I don't even know if they ever drank alcohol underage once. I don't think they even know what weed smells like besides when we were coming around for Christmas. Like, I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I was nervous as hell. So I come in and, like I said, they were super Christian and they tried really shoving that down my throat and getting me to go to church and getting me to do this. And so in Russellville, you have 8th and 9th grade junior high and then 10th through 12th grade high school.
Okay.
So I was like, man, I got to go back to a junior high. Like, I just was not super excited about it. So that was kind of the dynamic, and different personalities too, because if you go back, my mom was adopted. I have no blood relation to them whatsoever. Like, they're my family, of course, but we are just all so different, very much so. And so coming in with my aunt, bless her heart, she's very controlling. And like I said, when you try to control something so much, you do more harm than good. She had really good intentions, don't get me wrong, but she just really tried to, I think they both did, even my uncle. Me and my uncle were a lot more closer because he, was more, he'd let loose a little more. And she would get on to us like, you guys are laughing a little too hard, and stuff like that. And my grandmother was actually living with, in the house at the same time too. They're my mom's mom. So it was nice because I got to be with Nana and also be with my aunt and my uncle, but it was very stressful because of how they were really trying to control what was going on and how I was acting. So when I got to 9th grade, Russellville is we got one high school, it's got one university, so it's like not too small, but not super big. So everybody kind of knows each other. And I'm coming in my first day of school. I have a Bob Marley shirt on. I remember girls talking about they thought I was in a gang. I'm tall. I'm a little awkward. I probably have, not kids, have seen whatever, but I've probably seen more than half the kids in this school I've seen. So I was just like, oh crap. Like, and there was preppy, clicky, you know what I mean? So it was weird trying to find my place when I first moved there. So I'm going to school, and every day after school, I would spend time with my grandma. But her health was declining super bad. So all in 9th grade, like, she was super sick, but also trying to, like, still maintain normal life because they had a little apartment above their garage that she would stay in. So I would go and check in on her, and watch Dr. Phil with her, and we'd bond, and we'd like actually talk about stuff. And she wanted to know, and she was like, she was structured. She tried building my mom a really good life and my aunt and tried doing the whole thing. But I could talk to her. Like, I really could tell her. Well, I never explained the sexual abuse to her because, that's my grandmother. But I did tell her a lot of what was going on. And we just opened up to each other a lot. And then she ended up passing away at the end of my 9th grade year. And it was hard because she also felt super kind of neglected by my aunt and my uncle. Like, we'd go to church and she'd have to go sit with the older ladies and not with us. And it would bother her. Or dinners would stop happening with all of them together. And it's just her. Both her ex-husbands have passed away. Like, so I felt for her. Like, we got so close because of that. And so it was hard because I started feeling a little anger towards my aunt and my uncle now. Because I'm like, y'all are kind of, being a little, I don't know, judgy, but also like not being there and like expecting the most out of us. And then like Nana passed away and I I think she should have been taken care more of. I think being there and seeing it, like, we should have been all collectively taking care of my grandmother more. I was the only one I felt like going up and spending time with her and like seeing her and seeing the situation. Like, she's getting old. This is what happens. We gotta, if she's gonna come live with you, we have to take in that responsibility. So I was really frustrated with them, like with how she passed away and stuff. I was just already mad. And then that summer, then that next year I'm going into high school in 10th grade. And I was like, I didn't have any outlets. I didn't know how to get weed. I didn't know how to like, and I really wanted to smoke. I really wanted to like do stuff because I was already exposed. Like,
yeah, you already had the experience.
Right. So
were you talking to your mom at this time?
To be honest, I probably like the first year-ish of me living there. And she would call, because she was close with my Nana, because my Nana would help her out, send her money here and there. But once I hit high school, like,
not really.
I went years without talking to that whole family.
Wow. So not even your sister?
And that was like, and it'll all come full circle at the end. So
it was mainly just the new dynamic of this, of the aunt, uncle.
And then coming straight from where I came from. So I knew my brother was with girls, popping kids out here. And I mean, he has like 6 kids. And
so he was having kids too at this point. Okay.
Yeah. And I just wasn't a part of it. I didn't really want to be either because of after everything. And I did, because I would see my sister before I moved to Russellville sometimes with the babies, and like I'd get close with her kids. And I had, a few moments because I want to be their aunt, but also they just pushed me away so much. And I pushed myself away once I got there. And so in Russellville, my aunt and my uncle, I think, and with how the town is and how cliquey everything is, I like my reputation and how I looked. And I was already kind of like that. But like, I could tell it was kind of a thing there. Like, so I didn't really want anybody to know where I came from.
Right.
Like,
it's almost like it feels easier and better to just leave it in the past and forget.
Exactly. Like a lot of people there just knew I came and I lived with my aunt and my uncle, and that was really it. So it was kind of like funny to me because nobody really knew. And so I started, I did theater in high school. That was my little outlet. So I didn't like do sports. So I didn't get drug tested. So I could still, I figured out a way to get weed from meeting somebody. And so I'd start smoking. And I feel like I was a little versatile. Like I like to know everybody. I wasn't super clicked up, but I started, meeting people, and I felt like people liked me. So I was like, oh my gosh, I loved the attention. I also was like, super bro-y. Like I said, my first day, Bob Marley, sweatpants, Converse, like what's up? So I didn't have like feminine qualities, I didn't think I'd get a boyfriend. I immediately would get friend zoned. I didn't really think of stuff like that. So whenever I did like have a crush on a guy or something like that, I was super I didn't have any confidence. I didn't think it was, because it would happen like with girls around me or like with some of my friends or things like that. And I didn't really know how to go about it. So it wasn't really a thing for me. I just like wanted to kind of get fucked up and hang out with like my friends and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like once I hit 10th grade and my grandmother passed away, it was just high school. I mean, it's hard for me to talk about high school because I was low-key a piece of shit, but I also, because of, it's not an excuse, but just everything I went through and I was exposed to, and I just wanted attention. And then I lost my virginity at a really young age. And I think it was a few months after starting 10th grade. So then it's like, oh my gosh, a guy likes me. Like, this is how you get guys to like you. Like, holy crap. So that would become a thing. And then like doing drugs, sneaking out, the whole, high school thing. But I think I really like overdid it. I really did. You
pushed the boundaries.
I pushed the boundaries. I was stealing super bad. I'd steal people's money. I'd steal my aunt and my uncle's money. I would lie. I'd manipulate. So I had 2 best friends, Taylor and Gabby, and they're the 2 I'm going to point out. It was like a group of us, but they're the ones that matter the most. So I'm going to point them out. But it was all of us, and I still talk to them to this day. And it was awful because in high school, we're just all so different. Like, I'm 24 now. So I graduated in 2019. And it's not that long ago, but it is that long ago for me. And I was just so like, hurt people. And I didn't give a crap about anybody's feelings, why I would steal and and we all started doing drugs too at a really young age, like cocaine and smoking weed we wouldn't even care about what was happening at school or our academics. We were just like, all right, after school, where are we going to smoke? What are we going to do with this? What's going, it wasn't really anything like that. And it was fun. Like, this was my outlet. These were the people I was connecting with the most. I never connected with my family like this. And we all had our drama. Like, me and Taylor would have drama with each other, me and Gabby. But we all, like, I don't know, we were all kind of collectively kind of just, like, being fuck-ups together, right? Yeah. So, and I was also, I think, a little dramatic. I was very dramatic because I think I had just dealt with more than usual than the people around me. And I was fighting with my aunt and my uncle a lot at this point. After 10th grade, going to the junior year, it just got worse. Like, I was doing all that times 20. There was a point I would teach little kids how to swim over the summer. And I was making really good money. All that money went to cocaine. I have no idea. Like, that was good money. Yeah. And I did not save it, did not do anything with it. And I also Taylor, she drove. She got her license at a good age. I didn't get my license until I was 21.
Wow.
Because I just didn't, kind of like my mom. I just thought day to day. I didn't think what's going to happen 5 years from now. Right. I thought today and what's going to make me feel good and my friends feel good because this is the attention that I've always wanted. Like, this is it. So and there were guys involved, and I would kind of, hone in on that because I never had male attention, and it got to my friends a lot because I would, like, choose the males over them, and I was also in high school, and
right. That's all that matters at that age.
Right. So I was just like, it was just terrible, and I don't know. I feel really bad for how I was in high school, and I
was shitty too. You just gotta, you just.
I know. And so.
I feel like that's the age that you're kind of, it's interesting. Like, I feel like that's the age that, in a way, your childhood dictates who you are. And then it's after that, you either grow or you stay.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I've realized. Maybe not for everybody, but I kind of feel that way in the sense about me too. It's kind of like, I was not the greatest, and I'll look back and it's like, ugh. But then it's like, at least I went up from there. Right?
I know, and I don't know if you can tell. It's like, it's hard for me to even, like, talk about.
I was like that for a long time. It is hard. It's because it's not. It feels like a different part of your life, a different version. It's like it's not who you are today.
Yes, and
but you got to learn. Yeah. It's just.
And I think my family, like my sister, my brother, my mom, we were all kind of like the type to. You got to touch the stove to learn that it's hot, right? And I think I liked pushing those boundaries too with my aunt and my uncle because I also was like, I remember I tried joining the Gay Straight Alliance Club at school, and that was a whole fight with them. And so, like, something that's positive that I'm trying to do, they're arguing with me about because they're super strict and that's just how they grew up. And then, so for me, it was like, oh, you guys are just like this, and you are going to judge me if I smoke, if I'm literally like 15 sneaking out. And I'm like, why are you guys judging me?
Yeah.
It's because I'm smoking and stealing your money. Like, woe is me. I was so angry at them. And I wasn't easy. I don't think they handled me the best. They tried putting me in therapy for a minute, which was beneficial. And then they had to stop, but then they tried putting me in therapy with their preacher. And that was like, no, what are we doing here? Like, I'm trying to get to the nitty gritty. I want to cuss a little bit when I'm talking about what happened in my past.
You should be able to just get it all out.
You think I'm going to talk to this preacher about what my brother was doing to me under the blanket? No, like, you guys are tripping. This is not it.
Yeah.
So I was angry at them. And my aunt was just so, she just got to a point, like, she was just so angry at me. I think it felt like she just was disgusted with me because they were giving me this opportunity, and I was just.
They probably, in a way, felt like, is anything we do going to make a difference at this point?
Exactly, and I really was like, I didn't have any plans after high school. I didn't have the grades or do anything.
That's all you knew. That's what you were like. Yes, okay, it's great that you were able to go live with them, but you weren't raised like that. So you don't have that understanding of even how to act in that kind of environment.
Exactly. There's a lot of other people, like just friends along high school I'd steal from just to like get money for like more, and it just sucks. Like, I think that's one thing. You got to take accountability to grow. And like, I'm at a really good place in my life now, but I think it's really important to like, I caused trauma as well to get to where I'm at, just as much as other people caused me trauma. And I did. Like, I hurt a lot of people in high school. And I wish, I mean, if I could sit there and pinpoint, I'd apologize and say I'm sorry over and over again, because I am. Like, it sucked being that age and being where I was at. And looking back at it, it's hard. Taylor and Gabby really stuck by me, though. We had our fights and arguments and whatnot, but they really stuck by me. Taylor and me, we did stop talking at the end of high school, and she moved to Arizona and had her own little thing. And we stopped talking for like 2 years. Gabby, towards the end of high school, kind of stayed by my side. I mean, we'd have little, I don't know, just random high school tips. But once I graduated, my aunt and my uncle told me, you have to move out by like June 2nd. I graduated May 18th, 2019.
Wow.
And that was my birthday too. So I'm like, so I was also doing the swim lessons. That was the only way I was making money through high school. I never had a job. My extracurricular activity was theater, and then getting fucked up with whoever I was partying with that night. And that's what sucks too. I think at the time, I think Russellville is growing a lot more. I don't really know. I don't really care to go back there, but at the time there was not much to do there. So this is what everybody would do, would just party, and you have to drive 45 minutes away to get alcohol. So whoever got alcohol, it was like a big deal, right? So when I graduate high school, I like have a group of girlfriends, because I had a lot of friends. I did. I was a little crazy, but there were people who tried being there for me and like I connected with. And I got a house with a group of girls.
So this was right after high school?
Yep.
Okay.
And I wasn't driving still.
Right.
So like I had Taylor driving me around and my uncle driving me around. I think I tried taking the permit test like once in high school and I failed. And then it just shut my ego down. I was like, man,
I'll do this another time.
And like, there's more important things that matter, right? Like, yeah. So and at that point, I didn't even want to be around my aunt and my uncle. And it sucks because I think in the beginning, me and my uncle were so close. Like we really were. We'd have like laughing hour, we'd call it, when my Nana was there. And then I just was going this way in high school, and they couldn't. I mean, this isn't how their kids were, right? So they were like, you need to get the fuck out of here when June 2nd hits. This is your date. So I go and get a nice little house with a group of girls, and it was just like high school, but like times 20 with the partying, and I'm finally starting to realize what paying rent is like and what paying bills are like. All I had was the money from doing my swim lessons. I'd have to get a ride to and from like the house I was doing it at. Sometimes my aunt would come get me, because they would still try to like help me, but they just wanted me out of their house. Like, you need to figure out some responsibility, because you didn't do it while you were in high school. You were just doing whatever the fuck you wanted to do, and these are the consequences to your actions. So they would try and help me. Sometimes like my roommate would give me a ride, and so like I was really trying to figure this dynamic out. Plus it was like our first house. It's a group of girls. Like, let's party. Like, let's throw parties.
And you're still so young. You're still at the partying age at that point.
I turned 18 the day I graduated high school. So I was like, we were all just like, let's do it.
Freedom.
Right. And Gabby actually like had her own house with a group of other girls too. So like it would be like between those two houses people would go to and stuff, and which is cool. And I was doing drugs still. I was so zoned in on just like being fucked up somehow. If it wasn't smoking weed, if it wasn't doing a little cocaine, if it wasn't taking one of my friends' Adderalls here and there, like it was terrible. I was just doing whatever would fill me at that time.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I got so overwhelmed, like with everybody coming over. I like was stressing over money. I was freaking out because I only had like 2 or 3 months of rent saved up. It wasn't going to like, what am I going to do? Like truly, I was coming to a point. And so I I was talking to this guy through high school. Like me and him would be on and off. That was a whole thing in itself. And he would come over sometimes to that house when we would throw parties. And like he treated me I thought he was my best friend, but he was just using me like friends with benefits. But like he would treat me like crap. And I had some money stashed for my rent. And he ended up it was like $700. And he ended up taking it. And that was like a whole thing for me. And it really shut me down. Yeah. And I didn't know what I was going to do. Like, I don't have an incoming job. I don't have a family or parents, like a lot of people around there that
can help
or are going to help. My aunt and my uncle were mad at me at this point and were like, consequences to your actions. My uncle loves to say that. So, and I also wasn't taking care of myself. Like, I'd be skinny and then I would be binge eating. I would be like activities, nothing. I remember I actually went to the Army recruiter once just to be like, what's going on? And then they talked to me about a PT test. And I was like, yeah, like that. Like, I can't even run. What are you talking about? I did not take care of myself at all. And you start to realize, like, I think growing into myself and learning to love myself, like at that time, I did not care. I did not love myself. I didn't want to take care of myself. I just wanted to like fill the void in my head, right? So with that group of girls, I literally packed all my stuff up one day and I called my sister and my mom. Somehow that worked out. Like somehow I got in contact with them. I can't really remember what it was. I was so fog-minded. Like, it's hard to even think of things because I was just on one all the time. If I wasn't drinking, I was doing this, it was crazy. So I just dip out. I don't tell those girls anything. I signed a lease with them. I did all this stuff and I just leave because I couldn't handle the partying. I couldn't handle all the people coming over and then like the drama that would just happen between guys and how I was getting treated and like everything else. And I just wasn't ready and I just dipped out. I didn't say anything to anyone. And it sucks I did that, but at the time I needed to go. I had to leave. I felt like, so I go to my sister's in a little apartment. She's got 2 kids. She's got her own drama going on. She like left her first baby daddy with my 2 nieces and she's like trying to figure herself out, but she like lets me in. It's one thing about my sister. She did always try. Like she never said no to me if I needed help, right? So, and what struggled with me is too, like my brother, I would hear that my brother was still doing the same type of stuff, but like with his girlfriends now, or like would come in and out with my mom. But I didn't care. I didn't want to hear it. I don't know the details. I know he's just still fucking up and that's all I need to know to be away from him. So that's cool. So with my sister, I was there for literally maybe a month after I left Russellville. So I went back to Fayetteville, 2-hour drive. I think one of my friends just ended up driving me to Fayetteville, to my sister's house, and everyone kind of just said bye to me, and then I was gone. Yeah. And I was freaking out. I was like, this is not, after a month of being with my sister, I'm like, this is not what I need to do. And Gabby, she got a hold of me, and I was like talking to her a lot, and she was like, why are you there? And because she kind of knew a little bit of my family dynamic, and she was just like, I don't know if this is good for you. And I was like, yeah, you're telling me. And she's like my age. We're both so young. And she's like, why don't you come back to Russellville and come stay with me? And she comes, she picks me up, drives 2 hours away. So here I go again. And I'm starting to make these habits, right? Like from what I was doing or having to deal with as a child, I'm starting to like
repeat the pattern.
Right. And I'm like, I didn't know what to do. So Gabby, she really pulled through for me. That's her story, but she had her own issues, but she knew like, you got to get your shit going. You got to work, like you got to do your thing. And so I go and she had her house. Cause like I said, it was our 2 houses. And I actually like was staying at that house with her once she picked me up and she got me my first job, like at McAllister's Deli. And we started working there together. So I was like having a steady income. I went opened up my first bank account with her. Like she was really showing me how to like do the adult thing. Like, look, I get this isn't how it is, or what you were shown and you weren't wanting to see from your aunt and your uncle.
Yeah.
But like, look, because we were still smoking, we'd have a good time, but she was also like, it was.
And
I
think it's helpful when it's somebody that's your age, so you're able to kind of do it together, versus feeling like an adult is telling me I don't want to listen.
Yeah, and at the time too, Gabby was so like known and super. She was beautiful, like she still is, but like I respected her a lot. I really did. I looked up to her a lot, and the fact she was taking me in meant so much to me. And I was also doing I was smoking almost like morning to night, and she was like, "We need to stop that." And first time since I was 11 to 18, I stopped smoking, and we like took a drug test together, and like I passed, and we were both so happy. And then months later, like we were like, "Should we get high?" And then we got high, and it was like the first time again because it had been so long. So it was nice because I'm finally doing my thing. And then, so we end up moving, we move out of that house into another house with a bunch of girls. And that was kind of a messed up situation, but we kind of did what we had to do. And it was, COVID was about to start happening. And keep in mind, I had never been in a relationship. I've never had a boyfriend. I've just kind of had flings. I never had a guy at this point come up to me and be like, I'm infatuated with you. Like, I love you. Like, you're pretty. I always was kind of just the homegirl. Like, everybody was cool with. I had a lot of guy friends.
And at this point, had you ever told anyone about what happened with you and your brother, or no?
I think I opened up a little bit to Gabby about it. She knew like the neglect. I can't remember. Eventually, she like knows that he sexually abused me, but I don't know at that time.
Okay.
I think that was just a conversation, but she knew like
that there was issues there.
Yeah. I'm not good with being a victim.
Yeah.
I am. I'm not very good with it. I just, I didn't like to put that out there. So yeah, me and Gabby are like living together, doing this thing. She's helping me get a job. And like I said, boys, not very good with. I started talking to this guy. That's all. Okay. But it's an important part of the story. It's an important part of the story, so I have to fucking talk about it. I don't. We were together for 3 years after we first met. He's a big part of everything, unfortunately. But you got to go through it to learn it.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad I'm out of that. So me and Gabby would throw parties and stuff. We were also working. I eventually quit the deli and started working as a CNA. Also, COVID's about to happen, right? Because it's like 2020 around there.
Yeah.
And so I meet this guy, Henry. Definitely going to say his name because I want to expose this motherfucker because he sucks.
Henry it is.
I don't know. I don't even hear from him I haven't heard anything from him for years. I hope he's not dead. I don't really care other than that, right? So I meet him and we would see each other through high school. So I knew of him. A few years older than me. He was really artistic, super popular. I very much was like, how could someone like him like me? Like, truly. It was because I was so, like, the only other guy I was really into in high school was a scrawny, druggy type of dude. So when Henry came, it's like, came from a good family. He had seemed like at the time priorities and dreams and goals, and he was a little artistic, and I was in theater, and it was just like, So me and Gabby were living together when I met him. So we started, talking. I don't even really remember how we started even flirting with each other, but all I know is we were hooking up and we were wanting to be a thing. It was like the first guy that really wanted my attention and wanted to he took me on my first date ever. He actually did stuff with me. And for me, it's like, oh, I thought you just kind of right. And Gabby would try it because she was in relationships and she knew how to handle herself with boys. And so she would try and tell me, this is how it should be. So she, saw that I wasn't very, I don't know, good or had a relationship before. So at first she really encouraged it. So the night we actually started dating, I remember this night because Gabby threw a party. I'm a CNA now. I'm working at a nursing home. And Gabby threw this huge party and COVID just happened. And small town, somehow one of our roommates who we were living with got tested positive for COVID. And this is COVID just happened, so it's all scary, blah, blah. And it goes like all over social media, and we have to stay in our house for a month. Henry was with me and asked me out that night at the party, one of his best friends, and then like 4 of us roommates. So we were all stuck in that house for a month together. After our first night of dating, we are stuck together for a month. Yay! Like, it was terrible. Plus, I was a CNA, so all these nurses are super mad at me because I worked in a nursing home. Gabby's getting a bunch of backlash because she threw the party. Like, she had people like messaging her moms being like, how could you, this and that. It was crazy. It was on the news. It was terrible. But our neighbors were watching us to make sure we were staying inside. It was horrible. So how mine and his relationship started was already just like toxic, right? Like, this is terrible. And I think at this point, alcohol was super involved with me and Gabby in our life. And I think she was kind of going through her own thing with that. So we were still, best friends, but we also were kind of doing our own thing. I was with Henry all the time, and his parents did not approve of the relationship. Super Christian too. It was a big family, a whole bunch of siblings, and they lived like a few houses down from our house. So they knew our house to be what it was, like this party house, college people, or whatever. And there were times he would be over there and like his parents come knocking at the front door, like, I was 19 when we met, 19, 18, and he was 23. He was a little older than me. I think, 23. So for me, it's like, dude, this is a grown-ass man. Like, because look at where I came from. Like, I don't think of...
Like, my parents aren't knocking on the door.
Right, but in their heads, I will say, like, they have money. They paid for his college, for him to do stuff, for his car. So they're like, what is he doing? Like, this is not how we live. So they would be coming to our front door, like, trying to get Henry out. And we're just drinking and partying this whole time. I remember when we were stuck in that house for a month, like, we woke up.
What else is there to do? Yeah.
Started drinking. Like, it was terrible. I gained a bunch of weight. Like, I'm in this relationship now, and I'll never, it's just so weird talking about it all. But so it was already super, and Gabby was going through her own things, and she was going back and forth with moving back home to St. Louis. And, I'd bring it up to her a little bit because I knew some things was going on. It would suck, but I felt like I also had Henry, and it's the first man in my life ever. And it sucks, but he was who I wanted to be with. I love Gabby to death, but like, I was choosing him over everything. I really was. I was ready. Like, I don't know. That's picture, the house and the picket fence that I've never had, and to be a couple. And I'm so young too, thinking this, but when I first met him, like, I didn't even think a guy would even look at me, would even want anything like that. So he made it seem like we were about to date and be in this relationship, and we were going to be making steps to do that. But we were also living this super toxic lifestyle. And he ended up just staying at my house all the time, not working, not paying for anything. He had a vehicle, because keep in mind, I still don't have a freaking license at this point. And I was just working. I'd walk to work sometimes. I'd get a ride from them. I'd work 16-hour shifts being a CNA now. It was more of a big girl job than working at the deli, right? But once like COVID hit, I did not want to do that anymore because, nursing home people were just going, and it was hard for me. I didn't like it. Yeah. And so the first time Henry cheated on me, it wasn't even like 2 months in our relationship, and he was at my house, hanging out all the time, chilling. I come home, and I worked a 16-hour shift, so 7 to like 7 a.m. And I was about to have to go back into work at 2. And I remember that so vividly because I'm like, how could you do this? And I come to bed, and I like get ready to fall asleep for the day, and then wake back up, and I look at his phone, and I don't know, I was just like, there's something going on. Like, I had this weird feeling. There was something on there. He was getting notifications. Something made me be like, I need to check his phone. I check his phone, and he literally was just Snapchatting this girl being like, yeah, so let me know whenever you're off your period and you can hop on this dick. That was the first, and it's like a joke now to me and all my friends, because it's like, yo, remember the first? And that was the first admitting, because this is my first relationship. It's the first guy and then once I found that out, we get into this big fight. I come back home the next night. I have flowers and a Big Mac, and he's like doing all these things that are super sweet. So like, I should forgive him, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's my mindset. And that was just like our relationship for the longest time. All through 2020, he's just living with me. I'm supporting us, and he's cheating on me, and we're just drinking all the time. That was our relationship. And his parents are like constantly trying to fight with us, constantly trying to like get him out of the house, and then he'd come back. And I was so attached to him, like, because this is the first man that's like, you know, I'm in love with, and he's making me feel like I'm loved, and like sexually too, like I'm feeling more open with him, and he is who I really started to like talk about all the details with.
Okay.
And keep in mind, I haven't really no idea about my father at all. I've never met him. I don't know anything. I don't know the details besides of what I've learned when I was little. So I think that had a lot to do with me getting attached to him the way I did too.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I get a call one day from my mom. And I was starting to talk to my mom a little bit more. I'm getting older, you know, I'm like trying to have a little bit of a relationship with her, growing more empathy. I get a call from her, and she's like, hey, your dad's sister wants to get a hold of you. Like, they want to talk to you. Dude, I've never even talked to nothing on my dad's side of the family. What the hell? So she like talks to me, and she's like, hey, we really want to meet you guys. Like, I really want to meet you. You have a whole other side of the family. We all want to get to know you. Like, all this stuff. I'm like, holy crap. Like, I've never had that.
Yeah.
Okay, bet. And me and Henry too, like, we're not doing anything. I'm just going to work. We have roommates. Gabby eventually ends up moving back to St. Louis. So I don't even really have Gabby to kind of, and you know, she was going through her own stuff. She's not going to sit here. And so I just got to a point too where I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, he's not working. He's not going to school. I'm here. Like, why shouldn't I open up and see what's on the other side of my dad's side of the family? I was just stagnant, like not doing anything. So when I got that call, I was like, all right, like, let me try and open this door. So I talked with my aunt on the phone. First time talking to her, never knew any of them. My mom just kept it from me, and she like immediately wants to help me. Wants to help me with rent, wants to help me with bills, wants to fly me out there, me and Henry, pay for all of it, fly me out there, meet all of them. And I didn't know any of the details of my father's situation. I knew he did this. I saw some things happen. So like, I know it happened, right? As crazy as my brother and my sister and my mom are, you don't just get sent to prison for 42 years for nothing, right?
Yeah.
So I like go, and I remember when I told my mom they were going to fly me out for that Thanksgiving that was coming up and fly me and Henry both out. So Henry came with me when I met all of them at first. So he's like experiencing all this with me, right? And I remember talking to my mom about it, and, you know, she's distraught because this is the one thing she's wanted to keep from me my whole life and protect me from, and yada, yada. So during this time I find out, we fly out there. My aunt starts helping me. We start building a connection, and me and Henry fly out there for Thanksgiving. I meet my cousins. Like, I have all this stuff. And so I start asking questions like, so what happened? Basically, in their heads, my dad did not do it. My brother, my sister, my mom are crazy, and they came up with this story and put him in prison. And I was like, oh. And I'm not going to come out and be like, and try and fight all these people on like, hey, that's not the truth. Especially, I'm not close with my family.
Yeah.
Like, it's just me, to be honest. I've been like a lone wolf this whole time. So why am I going to sit here and like try and stick up for things? My sister's never gotten into detail with me and opened up to me about all of it. So I felt super just like, okay, like very combative in my head. And then come to find out, he's been out of prison for like 5 years, and he has a wife, and he has a house. A nice big house. He has a whole bunch of cars. He's living great, having a great life.
And your mom had no idea?
I think she knew he was married. I think she did.
Damn, so he had been out for 5 years.
Yeah, like when I was in high school, he got out. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm like, I got pissed.
How early did he get out?
I think when I was 16.
Okay, so that would have been what, like 30 years? Like... He was sentenced to what, 42?
Yeah, he only served 10 years. Sorry, I should have said that.
Okay.
He only served 10 years of that.
Okay.
Good behavior.
Okay.
The whole shebang, blah, blah.
Crazy.
Right? And then he has a wife? Who the would want to marry somebody like I was so like, what the actual...
Right, and then just, I think too, It's hurtful.
Dude, I couldn't eat some days.
Yeah.
And you have a great life. His only blood. He doesn't have any other kids. They never had kids. They had animals in this house. And
okay, so you find this out from your aunt.
He's 30. So he got out when he was like 38, 39.
Okay.
Bro, him and his wife met when she was 22 years old. I am 19, 20 when I meet him. So I'm just battling this internally. And then I also have this relationship going on with Henry, and I'm just kind of dragging him with me because he's not doing anything to like put his feet on the ground too, and like stand up and be a man and be supportive. And I think I just made it really easy for him to just like
tag along.
Yeah. And I was so in love with him. I would have done anything. Terrible. So we go there, and they're telling me all this about my dad, and they're like, so like, do you want to meet him? And I'll never forget. I was like, all right, like, let's do this. We meet, and he brings his wife and stuff, and we're in a hotel. And I remember like just being so anxious, but also being so calm. And when my dad walked through the door, I mean, I'm obviously his kid. You can tell we have such features, like our teeth are the same. It's crazy. And he like hugged me, and I hugged him, and Henry started crying. And I just didn't have much emotion. Like, obviously this is a huge deal. I haven't seen him since I was 6 years old. No idea what was happening. He has this wife. His wife has apparently been like trying to look for me all this time, ever since she's heard the story of me, because I don't figure this out. I figure this out the next day after I meet him. So we hug, we like have this moment like, holy shit, we're face to face now. After all this time, I'm like, no, yada, yada. I can't be around him. He's the most dangerous man in the world. I'm like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to meet this man. So we finally do. And then that next day we like all go to the beach. And I'll never forget this moment. This is a really big moment in my life. And Henry's still just with us randomly, like not doing anything. They're paying for all of his stuff too. We are grown-ass adults. Like, he's older than me. Yeah. What are we doing, right? But whatever. And I go up to my dad. We're standing on the beach, and I go, so, like, we're having a conversation, and I finally go, so, like, did you do it? He was like, no. In that moment, I was like, this motherfucker is lying to everybody. He is lying to everyone. He is really around here, sitting here saying that, like, my brother, my sister, my mom came up with this shit and put him in prison. And that was that. And, like, there were little stories. Because you got to remember, like, they had friends. So, like, my mom and my dad collectively together. So people would come to my mom and tell stories about him that just, it all added up to, there's too many people that knew that he did this, like, for it not to be true, especially back at home. So they're in North Carolina, him. And so we fly from Arkansas to North Carolina. So he has like a huge separation. It's not like he's just convinced all these people over here that these people lied and put him in prison and kept his daughter away from him. And it's like, bro, I wish that was the truth. Yeah. Like, let's be so for real. Like, I wish that was the truth. So in that moment when he told me that, I was like, and also Henry came from, he wasn't exposed to any of this stuff. And thankfully, like, his parents, nobody should have to, right? But like, I would try and talk to him about it and stuff. You just
didn't get it.
Homeboy didn't know what was going on. Like, he was just there for the ride. And also, like, this is happening. It's a huge, monumental, like, moment in my life. Henry's also, like, cheating on me, lying to me. And I'm just, like, kind of knowing and not caring anymore. So we have, like, a week there. And then we end up flying back home. And still the same thing. And I just, like, and me and my dad's wife immediately, like, connected. I was still super angry, though. Like, who the fuck is this chick that, like, is getting spoiled from my dad, and I had to literally go without because of who he is. Make this make sense. He hasn't had to do child support, not a thing, nothing. Like, he was in prison. Like, are you like, I was so bitter. And so it was hard for me to break that wall down with her. But I stayed in contact, and I kept my mouth shut because I'm not about to blow up this world as much as I wanted to. But in that moment, I was like, I'm going to come for everything that you have. I am not going to just go without my life and, like, be where I'm at and be stagnant and you be able to live this great life. So,
and pretend like you did nothing wrong.
Yeah, I was pissed, dude.
Yeah.
So I I go back home with Henry, and me and are talking through phone. And my dad, like, I never really felt like he ever cared about me. I mean, if he cared about me, he wouldn't have done all this stuff all those years ago. And I was kind of okay with that. In my head, I was just like, I cried my tears for you when I was little. I don't really care to anymore. And he's playing this huge facade. And this is a little, like, my mind was so dark back then. I mean, not, but really, all, like 4 or 5 years ago, it really was. I was in this relationship, and I just was like, in my head, I was just going to get what I deserved, and I don't care who I hurt in the way. And you are the biggest fuck up in my life, so I'm going to come for you. And you're playing this facade to everybody on this side. I'm going to play this facade too. So me and would talk, and eventually she was like, why don't you move out here? You and Henry move out here, and we'll help you guys get started. So literally in November, we come back. We move back out there New Year's. Because I'm like, it's a way better deal. Like, right, what I'm doing, I don't know. Me and Henry have no stability. We have nothing.
Were you talking to your mom at this point? Like, did she
know? A little bit, but
okay.
I kept everything from them.
Okay, so your mom didn't know you were going to live with him.
I was like with my aunt.
Okay.
And they were kind of helping, so I'd go back and forth.
Got it.
But I would keep it very like, yeah, y'all don't know I'm with him. I barely talk to him.
Okay.
Because like, that would be a whole blow up in itself.
Yeah.
My mom very much like wore, my ex-husband did this and this on her chest. So like, it really messed with her. So I'm good at keeping my mouth shut and just staying in my lane. And I'm not about to like get you involved so you can get all emotionally like traumatized out again.
Okay.
And she doesn't handle it very well anyways. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, no. So I didn't talk to them for a minute. Again, I would be in and out, just check in, make sure basically like, you're not sick or alive, but I really didn't talk to them. I was doing my own thing, especially like with Henry. I even like, me and Gabby we were still always talking, but we kind of stopped talking there for a little bit. And so, yeah, I'm in this horrible relationship, and then they move us there. They try and help us out. And I'm just like bitter. I was not in the mindset to really do anything. I was just like, fuck this, fuck that. Like, me and Henry are here. I deserve it, blah, blah, blah. And which isn't just, you can't force that. You know what I mean? He did what he did, but you can't force and have that negative, like, I'm going to take it. That's not how the world works. That's not, you got to let things come out and be how they need to be. So with Henry there, Henry made it really, really hard. I wasn't even able to focus on what was going on. And I mean, granted, he did move away from his family and stuff, so he was having his own issues, but he was also just like constantly cheating on me and constantly like lying to me. And like, we both were gaining weight. We both weren't taking care of each other or taking care of ourselves. He was also, I think he was a sex addict. Like, if I didn't make him nut at least once a day, it was an issue with us. So that was also in my head too. Mm. And this is how men love me. This is what I'm supposed to do in my head. If I want I was full on ready. And I say this, and I can't believe I was full on ready to be that woman that just like gets cheated on by her man. Like, I was full on ready for that. We end up getting pregnant. I get pregnant, and the first, while I'm there, so I can't even focus anymore. And I take the test, and I'm like, shit, and the first thing he says is, my family won't accept this. No comfort, nothing. He's just like, we have to do something about this. This can't. And I was so infatuated with him. I would have done anything. So we had an abortion, and, I hesitate to bring it up and stuff, but I think it's important because
absolutely,
it's one of like the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I think if he wasn't influencing me and I wasn't so in love with him, I would have had that baby and I would have thrived with him.
Yeah.
But I loved him so much, and I chose his values. Dude, I get this abortion, and he leaves a week after that because he told me his grandpa was sick, and he had a date for when he was going to fly back out. That date came, and he tells me he's not coming back, and he didn't have a plane ticket this whole time. Yeah. So I've never been suicidal. I've never been super depressed. I wanted to kill myself. I'm on birth control now because I just had an abortion. Like, this was terrible. And how could you just leave me here after we moved here? Like, are you, what? Like, I was heartbroken. Couldn't even focus on my dad and his wife. And I just was like, this is terrible. Gabby gets hold of me again, and she's like, come stay with me. Like, come to St. Louis because you're not safe there. Like, because I opened up to her about my dad, and she knew that situation. So she was like, I just don't like it. You should just come live with me and my parents. So again, she helps me out. I go there, and I get close with her family and stuff. And then I kind of leave my dad's situation kind of back. I'd stay in touch with his wife, but not very much him, because I was honestly just embarrassed. I was embarrassed of how we were living. I was embarrassed of like using all of their stuff and like not having any drive. And I just was like, I was so just mentally down and not knowing what I was going to do. So I just kind of dipped out. I moved to St. Louis with Gabby, and I mean, she tries to get me going and all this stuff. Then me and Henry rekindle, and same old. He ends up cheating on me. I mean, it's just same story, different chat. Like, I could not get away from this kid. It did not matter how much he hurt me. I was just ready, like, to be with him, be there. And he would drive from Arkansas to St. Louis to see me. So, oh my gosh, like, you're making this drive. Right. Yeah. Eventually, though, I wasn't really doing anything with Gabby in St. Louis. So I was like, okay, I need to go. Like, I'm hurting you. I'm hurting myself. And I dip out on her. And I don't do it in a really good way. I just wasn't taking care of myself, and I could feel it. So I hit up my sister. My sister, of course, was like, come on, just come stay with me and get a job or whatever. So I leave Gabby's, and those habits I'm starting again from when I was a child. And it just sucks how much it affected me. I get a job working at a fast food restaurant, and I think it was Popeyes. And I'm walking to and from work for my sister. So I'm starting to, make some type of income again, do little independence. But I'm also still with Henry, who's holding me back so much. And he just also wouldn't let me go. I wouldn't let him go. He'd cheat on me. We'd break up. We'd get back together. He used me, our whole relationship. And I don't know. It sucked. It sucks thinking about it, because I put so much faith and effort into someone I just really shouldn't have. And I should have been doing it to myself.
Well, I want to mention too, because I know that you just said like it sucks how much everything affected you, with even you just not being able to stay in one place and constantly moving. But the fact you're only 24, right now, like the fact that you're only 24 and you have all these realizations, like that's still amazing and young, because there's some people that they don't come full circle and have those realizations till they're like 40s, 50, you know what I mean? Right. So it's amazing that you can still reflect. You still have so much life left, not to go through those patterns. Like a lot of people don't break those off that early.
And to be honest, I didn't think I ever would.
Yeah.
In that moment in time, I was like,
were you probably at one of your lowest with yourself?
I really was. And I didn't look, it was just awful. And so finally, my mom got a little apartment. And at this point, like my brother, I have no idea where he's at. Okay. Like he's moved out from my mom. My mom's dealing with stuff on her own. And me and Henry go and stay with my mom in her little apartment for maybe like a month, and I get a different job. And I get this job at the library there in Fayetteville. And it's a huge library. I was like security and events. And so I had like a really nice job, and I loved this job. This job changed my life. This is really where it starts getting good. And the best thing he did was leave and block me. If there's anything good that man did for me, it is that. And thank you for it. Like everything else, I could never treat a human like that, the way that I loved him and him. But he just one day, like, he was using my family stuff. He was using me. I start working at this library. I'm walking to and from work because it was like, a university town. So I was able to walk. I was like working my ass off, and I was saving up, and I was finally able to get an apartment. And I was actually getting the apartment below my mom's. So I'm like, just having a little bit of something come together for me, right? And then he leaves. He just like, he's there one day, he texts me, and he's like, I'm done. Like, I'm done with this. He like, too, I saw on his phone, like he was talking to the girls and stuff, and come to find out, one of the girls I saw, and I just feel for her now, and I never, like, I keep it to myself, but he was messaging her, and I stopped posting on social media, like, a year before that. So me and him a lot of people don't even know we were still together after everything. So he, after he left me, like 2 months after we break up, he's like with another girl that he was texting. And apparently they've been dating for months.
Right.
Doesn't add up in my book. And then a month later, I feel like they got married.
Wow.
I was like, oof, all right. And that hurt so bad. But I also was like, all right, I'm about to lock in. And I got this apartment all by myself. I saved up money. I started working out. I was walking to and from work. I had responsibility. I had like a purpose. I got my cat, my first cat, my one animal. And it was like, well, at least I need to come home to him. If he at that point, if I have to do this because my cat needs me. It really came to that. And I did it. Like, I saved up the money for that. I didn't have anybody help me. I didn't want anything from my dad and his wife because they just did the most for me and I just kind of fucked up. But this whole point, I isolate myself and his wife is the only one that's messaging me and like talking to me and like trying to help me get through stuff. And it was hard because I feel like I was always kind of had a connection with her, but I was so irritated that like she didn't know the truth.
Yeah.
And that she's just believing this man. So a year of me isolating myself, working out, doing my thing. I stopped drinking. I stopped doing all of it. I stopped hanging out with people and I just zoned in. And then I'd go and I'd visit them because I was like, you know what? Let me just see what's up. And it was nice. Like, there were times I feel like with my father, he would convince me and I'd be like, you know, what if like that? Because they seem like they just have it together. This could be the family that I've always wanted. But the universe, God, whatever, always made me realize, like, remember who this man is. Like, remember.
Don't forget,
I didn't realize there were things going on in their marriage at all. Like, she kind of kept that away from me for a minute. So I'm in this apartment and she's like, hey, backtrack. One of the times I go and visit, I end up meeting a guy. It's a family friend or whatever, and we really click it off. He's my boyfriend to this day. He was in the Coast Guard. He's like super admirable. He's the best. I love him. So I meet him and then I like go back home. So that was like, you know, in my head and like having a life out here. And my head is screwed on different now. I'm like, I isolated myself. I feel like I disciplined myself on my own without having anybody's help and like doing my own thing. And I just was like, I want a future. I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life. I was also like at work, I'm walking like 30,000 steps a day. I'm working my ass off, not getting paid for the work I'm doing. Yeah. I couldn't even think about school because money, like. So I just was starting to think of my future and I was just starting to lock in and just start like, because I never did before and I wanted to break that cycle. So his wife was like, why don't we move you up here? Like, you could have a life here. You met your boyfriend, like, you have us, like, let's see what's up. And I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to do it. I'm doing it on my own. I'm not doing it in this horrible situation. And so I had come up, also, Taylor, my friend from high school, she was the only other person that started checking in on me as well in my time of like isolation. So it was really cool because I had her, and me and Gabby had to take space from each other because I dipped out on her. So her and my dad's wife really helped motivate me while I had no one just to get my shit together. So his wife was like, why don't you move up here? You know, we can help you or whatever. And so I move up here. I have like a nice little spot. Somehow around that year of isolation, I ended up with 2 more cats and a dog.
Love it.
Happens.
Sound like me.
It happens.
It does happen.
So they also were like more support, help with
responsibility,
your animals, yada, yada. Come up there and I just was the mindset, you know what? I don't have this bitter mind where I'm like, I want to take all of your stuff. Because I'm also getting close with his wife. Like me and her, I mean, she's my stepmom to me, despite all of it. And not to sound like that, but I didn't even have to say anything. She eventually came to me and was like, I want to divorce your dad. It's terrible. And like, I would pick up on things. He wasn't like, dude, I'm your daughter.
Yeah.
That you've never met. Why aren't you, more involved? Or I was fine with it because I kind of knew this whole time, right? In my head, I'm like, yeah, like I know who this man is. But like I said, I can play this part just as much as
let
you
me
can.
take the benefits of it.
So it was hard because I always wanted to tell her. I always wanted to just tell her, like, girl, this is not, like, go. As soon as she said that, I was like, yeah, I get that. You totally should, like, 1,000%. And she's like, when I came in and because she saw me all those years ago with Henry and how I was. So when I came back, I've lost weight. I have a whole different mindset. I'm like ready to go. And we started going to the gym together. And I think, I mean, don't get me wrong, she did this all on her own, but I think it inspired her too in a way because like she saw where I was and she like, it's never too late. It doesn't matter how old you are. She's been with this man for like almost a decade now. And she's just feeling like he's just sucking the life out of her. And he's not an emotional man. Like he was in prison for 10 years. That already messes you up as it is. And this whole time too, once I'm starting to build more of a relationship with my mom and my sister, and I open up to them about my brother, and it was
so you tell them?
Yeah, I would call them and stuff and text them, and throughout this moment in time, I'm like, because I'm finding my voice, I'm finding myself, I'm feeling more confident.
So what was their response to that?
My mom, for the first time, they like literally were like, "You're not full of shit. You're not this little girl. Like, we believe you. We're so sorry." Mm-hmm. Like, it was super fulfilling. And they talked to my brother about it, and he didn't deny it. He admitted it. So it's even more validating for me, right? Like, finally, you guys know, like, y'all did not treat me well. This is why I stepped away from you guys and I went other directions. So we're like, it's hard because, they know I'm kind of figuring my stuff out on my dad's side of the family, but it's hard for them because of all the stuff that's happening. But they're starting to understand because my brother did it to me too. So it was hard, but
Now, you might be getting to this, but did he ever you said that he did sexually abuse your sister as well, or no?
No.
Just you?
No, just me. And then I know, I think I was like the youngest but he like would go and come to find out some of my mom's friends, like he would go in and mess with their feet while they were sleeping. And it got like, he needed help. It was serious. It wasn't like he would spend thousands of dollars like for feet stuff. And like, this was obviously an issue. This isn't just like, and it's sad. Like, and he was drinking all the time and doing whatever. So he like, around this time of me living here, I'm hearing stuff about him, and it sucks because he got accused of doing something to a little girl, and he got sentenced to like prison for it. So when I messaged you that day to come here, he got sentenced guilty because he went to trial because he said he wasn't, he went to trial because he was going to fight for it. And because he like swears up and down. And it was so hard on my mom and my sister because like he didn't do it. I don't know. I can't sit here and be like, he didn't do that.
Right.
He did it to me. But they, and
it's hard. It's
hard. And it was, I still feel weird about it. Like I grew up with him. I saw him as a kid, and now he got sentenced to 25 years in March.
So he's away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So while I'm here.
And he has 5 kids.
Yeah. And I never saw him take any initiative. Like,
and what's scary and sad is, like, I guess, would you be considered a pedophile? Like, if you're doing, like, I guess, like, I don't know.
He was 14, 15, 16 when he was doing it to me. Okay. And I was so young. I don't know.
I just wonder, like, if it is true, if he did it to a child, it makes you wonder,
like 1,000%.
Would he, and if he has this foot fetish to an extreme, it's like
he was doing to grown-ass adults.
Well, it makes you wonder too. It's like, in his, and who knows, like this is just like my own thoughts that I'm thinking now. I'm just thinking out loud, but it's like, he might think in his mind, like, oh, it's just an obsession or a fetish with feet. It's not like super sexual. You know what I mean? Like people, like, you never know if he could be justifying it in his mind, but he doesn't, like, the trauma that it's inflicted, like, it is sexual abuse, and it's scary because it makes you wonder, like, especially since he has kids, and it's like, not to be like silly, but he has access to all these feet, and if that's his thing, and
nobody, like, he never got help, he never stopped, he never he never got sober, he was in and out of jail for random shit all the time before. Like, I just stayed away from it.
But when he got sentenced, was he in a relationship with anybody?
No, he was like, it was his ex-wife, girlfriend, I don't even know, but like ex-baby mama who like accused him of doing it to like her family member. And like to this, and like, yeah, that was a super dysfunctional relationship. So
Yeah.
it's easy for my mom, my sister to be like, yeah, I don't think he did this. And he probably didn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say here, I don't fucking know.
Right.
But-
Right. You only know what happened to you.
And that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
With it. I feel, and
So how did you feel when he got sentenced?
I felt, I mean, it's weird thinking of somebody
Yeah.
that you grew up with like that be in a spot like that. With my father, it's like that was how my life started and that was that. But like with him, it's like, it's a little like, damn, like at first.
Did you and him ever have a conversation about what he did to you when you were a child?
No, never like details. And if I came around like to see my mom or my sister, like he was there, but I was very standoffish.
Okay. So
and
you
I
guys
was,
never kind of...
only with my mom and my sister I
Okay.
talk. And they probably like brought it up to him a lot because they wanted, my mom's always just wanted all of us to be together.
Right.
But unfortunately, that's just not the case
And
for
then
us.
the reason your dad went to prison, was that because your mom found out what he was doing to your sister?
So yeah, and okay, so his wife, right,
Okay.
is going through this stuff because I still don't really know all the details. All I
Okay.
know is that he did this and went to prison, right?
Uh-huh.
She's wanting to divorce him. He's also like cheating and doing all this stuff. Keep in mind, I don't know full details of
Mhm.
really what happened with my father. I'm talking to my sister and my mom more. We're building this relationship. And then finally, like a huge blow up, like him doing something disrespectful to his wife. She was like, I'm done. I want to leave. Separates. And I just kept battling with myself because I was like, I knew the truth. Like I knew he did this and like she's just spiraling right now because he's treating her like this and she's trying to be respectful with this separation, but it's like we got to stop giving this man so much grace, bro. Like I was so tired of playing the part because I'm also just growing. Like I'm not trying to keep anything from anybody anymore. I want it all out on the table. I'm like, this is not it. So she actually on my birthday, she finally was like, she's like talking to me about some lies that she was just going in, and she finally says to me, she's like, because we're close, like she's like my best friend, but my stepmom, and she's done so much for me, dude. I would not be where I'm at today if it wasn't for her.
That's amazing.
So like, and we can talk to each other about anything, and she's like coming, she's had her own stuff with her parents to make her fall for this type of man and be stuck with it and be manipulated by him this whole time.
Isn't it crazy, just like the cycles that you don't even realize?
And that's why I wanted to do this even more because everything affects everyone.
But people don't realize that. That's why for so long I contemplated, do I even want kids? Because, and I know I've said this on the show, but because you could do something and not even know how it's going to affect your child. And then if you want to go outside of that, you don't know what's happening as soon as they leave your house, at school, with friends, like their friends' parents. It's a sick world and it's terrifying.
It is. It's, yeah.
And like some people turn out great, like you. And unfortunately, some people, they never find the tools within themselves to go down a better path.
Yep.
And it's like at how much is that their fault? They don't know. You know what I mean? It sucks.
It does suck.
And it's like setting people up for failure.
It is. And that's why I'm grateful for everything I went through because I do feel like it guided me to be more stern and where I want to be at today. But look how much it affected me. Look at the relationship I was in for 3 years. Look at what I was choosing. Look how... So even with her, it took me, like, I put myself in her shoes. I get it. At first, I didn't want to because I was like, what? But so she goes to me, no wonder he spent 10 years in prison. First, whatever. He only got sentenced to 3. And then in that moment, I was like, what did he tell you? He got sentenced to 3 years in prison. I was like, okay. I was like, we got to talk. We gotta sit there and have a conversation about this. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, there's not a doubt in my mind that he didn't do what he was accused of. And she was like, so he did it? I was like, we'll talk tomorrow. And we have a whole conversation. And that day before, I call my mom and my sister, and I'm like, I need you guys to tell me everything. And dude, my sister told me everything. It was crazy. And I read interviews between them. I read the charges. An 8-year-old, knowing what his private parts look like, knowing what sperm tastes like, he did everything to her but like actual sex. Or rape at that point. Literally, like for years. She tried even telling my mom, like, and as a mom, anything but that, right? Like single, 3 kids. So it was a whole thing with them, and it was like puzzle
now, did
pieces.
he do anything to your brother?
I think he did stuff in front of him and tried a few times getting him to do stuff to her. But your sister
got the brunt of it.
My sister got the brunt of it. And like she opened up to me about all of it.
God,
and,
that's horrible.
I mean, I didn't have a doubt in my mind. I knew something, but I was just like hearing all of it, and then me having to tell his now ex-wife and just come out and be like, he's been lying about all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So with this divorce happening, and I moved here obviously to get closer with them and get support, it's obviously kind of put a wrench in things. So for myself, I was like, I don't want to be involved anymore with any of this toxic ass shit. And his wife is doing amazing and like doing what she's got to do. But I came to a point where it was like, okay, I came here to get support. That's not really happening now because they're about to get separated. Like, what can I do? And I also was talking with my boyfriend about it, like just struggling because I was really just kind of soaking in it. Like, this man did this.
Yeah, you
and
have that, and then your brother. Yeah.
So I am now in the process. So I was like, I need to figure out what I want to do with my life because I want to get away. I'm tired of family. I love my family, but I am tired.
And sometimes you might find yourself just needing those times of space to just, collect yourself.
My sister and my mom have been so locked in with each other, and same with my brother. And I think it was good that I did separate from them. And I was super a lone wolf there for a while. And I'm not really afraid of change. I mean, I upped and moved, and I can do that. But in a positive way. Like, character development is super important, but also like you have to strive better. You can't just, do things to benefit.
Like to escape.
Yeah. So now I was like, okay, what do I need to do? And my boyfriend is in the Coast Guard, and we were just talking back and forth because I'm super active now. I go to the gym all the time. I like completely changed I don't smoke at all anymore. I don't drink like that. I mean, I can't tell you when I've touched any other drug. I completely changed my mindset. So I was like, all right, what am I going to do? Signed up for the Coast Guard, and I'm going to boot camp in November.
Wow.
And I am super excited. And I'm also excited to just be away for the holidays from all of it as well, too. And just,
like no pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just all happened so quick. And then like doing this, I was like, this is perfect. Like how this is all timing out. And I'm feeling like I'm supposed to be where I need to be and going where I should be going. And like, I got to learn all these lessons along the way. And as hard as it is, like dealing with, my aunt, my uncle, with my mom, with meeting my dad's wife and having that relationship. Having a father who literally, I haven't spoken to that man in months because he just feels like I took her side because he has no idea that I'm even doing this and that I told everybody who he really is. He has no idea. So I don't care.
But you have no relationship with him. He doesn't try?
No, he never, he doesn't care. And doesn't that prove of who he is even more? And
you would think too, if he was trying to prove that he wasn't that kind of person, that he'd be like trying extra hard for you.
Yeah. And nothing. He does not, you can tell, he doesn't care. He does not care at all. And
how are you, but your mom and your sister, you guys have a pretty good relationship right now?
So once I called them and was like, hey, everything's coming to the surface. I can tell you guys everything. I need you to tell me everything. Yeah. We have been healing each other.
Amazing.
And just being able to talk about all this stuff and being able to open up with each other.
That's really good.
Me and my sister, I didn't know any of that shit. Any of the details. I knew it was bad. I didn't know the
extent of it.
And it was literally puzzle pieces come oh, so that's what happened that day?
Right.
That's why he was acting. That's why you went to the room. That's why I was hearing those noises. That's why Donovan and me were getting treated like this. And it was crazy, the shit she had to go through and see. And he would try and do it in front of me. And I was so young.
Yeah.
And he was doing it for years to her. Years of him just this is a grown, he was 27 when he got arrested. What? To an 8-year-old? And it was hard, coming around to his wife's, my stepmom's side of the family. And even my boyfriend and them having to kind of understand, well, why wouldn't you tell anybody? Why wouldn't, I tried a few times, but when you're not ready to hear something like that,
Mhm.
and I'm not here to blow up anybody's world. Like, they
No.
had a house
And you
together.
went through your own stuff too.
Right. Like, I'm just trying to, don't get me wrong. I get it. It's dark.
Mhm.
It's hard. And like, I wish I could just sit here and like open up all of this to her in the beginning of me first meeting her. But like, there were a few times where I'll never forget. I tried telling her, she shut it down. She was like, no, that's my husband. And she even tells me today, she's like, I remember that. Like, I was not about to hear it. I
Yeah.
had to hear it when I was ready. And I even tried telling her parents at one point, and they were all so close with him. I remember her dad saying, I don't even care what he did. He's a different man now. That shut me down. Like, why? Okay.
Wow.
And it's just me. Like, it's not like I have my sister here to
Right.
be like, hey,
Yeah.
these are the details.
Mm.
Listen, because when you hear it from my sister's mouth, it's crazy. Like, absolutely crazy.
And she's doing okay now?
Dude, she's, just like I said, with how young she had kids,
Yeah.
she's has an amazing career.
Good.
She's killing it. Me and her are super tight. We talk. I think we just needed to grow up. Like,
Yeah.
at that age and what we were going through,
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
there was no way we were going to be close that young. And now that we're both adults and I'm doing my thing, I think we're both able to just be there for each other. And her also, she held herself accountable for
Yeah.
not being there for me for a lot
Right.
of things. And I also had to hold myself accountable because I blamed her for a lot of things and I didn't want to get close. And at the end of the day, like, my boyfriend has helped me a lot with like empathy, and he always says,
I was gonna say like softening.
he has, and he's been through it too. He's in the Coast Guard, like doing the most, and he's done his thing with that. So he's super structured, like, and he's always telling me, we're all just human experiencing life for the first time.
Yep.
All of us. So just like, give yourself and everybody else around you like some peace, and that's really helped me a lot, to be honest, just understanding. I mean, even with my aunt and my uncle, I was so angry with them for years and like didn't want, like, you guys are just going to see me as how I was in high school and yada, yada. And now we're cool. Like, we have a good relationship. They're so proud of me. Like, nobody would have even thought I would think about the military or even doing anything like that. And I passed everything. Like,
it's amazing.
Literally all I have to do now is just get to boot camp.
November, you go.
November 18th.
Okay.
And I'll be
And then
gone
how long are you there?
8 weeks.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like
you're able to just open these new doors and experiences for yourself, and it's only going to teach you more about who you are, and it's only going to help you build, your different, like you said, your character development.
Yeah. And I think also, I just hurt people, and I was so traumatized, and I just like,
you were angry.
I was so angry, and I hurt a lot of people along the way. People hurt me along the way. I mean, I just, that's why I think it's important to talk about. And like, That's why I wanted to do this as well, because like, you can get where you need to go and where you need to be and thrive, but like, hold yourself accountable to what you did to get there.
Yeah.
Like, even with my ex relationship, even with like my past friendships, me and Gabby, I mean, she still sees me as that little delinquent girl. We're not very close anymore. Just because I'm super structured now. I don't do the whole. It was hard because I was really excited to tell them about the Coast Guard, and I got a response just talking about my ex, and I don't really. This is the first time I've talked about him in like 2 years. So it's hard because I think sometimes her mindset is still there and I'm just completely.
And that might change too down the road.
Right.
It's like everybody's path is so different. And I'm sure they're surprised how quick you kind of turned everything around. And because it is quick, and it's amazing. Because like I said, really not everybody can do that. But I also feel like by you speaking publicly about your story, your experience, your trauma, it allows you to almost close a door.
Yes.
And go on to the next chapter.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that you won't continue to heal from it and have things that might come up or whatever. But like, I think that it takes a different type of, self-empowerment to be able to speak out publicly about anything like that you've been through.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. I think I, with a lot of people who knew me in Russellville, with a lot in high school, and with even my family, even my aunt and my uncle, anyone that I came across, I think, just didn't really fully understand what was going on. And I just wanted to put my story out there because like I was just a little girl going through all this stuff. Like I was a teenager being a delinquent. As much as I hurt people, there's no excuse, but there's also
Right.
understanding. And we're all human, right? Just
Yeah,
trying
and it
to,
goes to show like you really never know what somebody's going through or has been through.
yeah.
And like you said, or I think it was, you said your boyfriend said it, just give people some grace. It's like, we're only responsible for ourselves.
Yeah.
If we need distance from people, if people aren't for us, back away.
Right.
But you really never know.
Yeah. And some paths are different from others. And that's something not everybody's going to want to hop on this train and sober up and go and do this.
But if and when they decide to, then they'll know, who they can turn to.
Just knowing how much I can sink back into it,
Absolutely.
I have to keep myself.
You have to do it for yourself. And I think too, it's interesting how different it, just like I was saying too, like how things change. Like Gabby was there for you when you needed it.
Yeah.
And maybe right now your paths aren't aligning, but there might be a day that that
1,000%.
roles reverse, or guys are at the same place, you're able to reconnect, and life does weird things. But like I said, really, I think it's something to be very proud of, to be your age and still so young, but able to really grasp everything in the way that you have.
I'm trying. I'm definitely
you should be proud of yourself. And it's no small thing to be able to talk about it publicly and to somebody you don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
I just think it's important though too. Like,
it is.
All the generational differences.
Yeah.
My dad's ex-wife, my stepmom, she's 30 something and she's like, has opened up her mind so much to all of this. And thank God, and you don't, because look at what she's seen. Look at what I've seen with my aunt and my uncle. If you just, open up your heart, open up your mind, see what people have gone through, see the effect of things. If just saying I'm sorry, I know me saying I'm sorry has helped me just hold myself accountable. And my mom saying she's sorry, my sister saying she's sorry. I just think it's important. And I think it also shapes us to who we are. And that was a big part of why I wanted to come do this, because all of this has shaped me to be where I'm at and motivates me. And when I'm in the gym and I'm thinking of little Maddy and thinking of all the people I fucked up or got fucked over by, it's all just helps me to maintain a better life, because I feel like I'm doing myself a service and everyone else.